All right, bro. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's get it popping.
All right, bro. All right, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, JusJrdn here. Another week, another awesome guest. This one's exciting. We've been wanting to do this one for a while, and he's finally here. We got the great, the talented Nick Degree.
Doot, doot, doot.
All right, we'll get right.
That was the air horn.
He doesn't got the switchboard
Doot, doot,
today.
doot. Yeah, that's maybe a bit better.
All right, we'll hop right into it. This is A Moment with Jay.
I just wanted to hop on the mic and say, I know the world been a little chaotic and everything. I just wanted to check and make sure everything good in the hood, like sure, you know what I mean? Say out of the fam. Okay, let's get to work. Hold up. So what you lost?
Started, bro.
Okay, nice.
So how you been, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, just vibing off the recent and long-awaited release. You know,
Yep.
it feels amazing to get it off my back. Like it literally feels like weight off my shoulders.
Damn.
And it's funny because, you know, I don't know if it's like my favorite thing, you know, like, I mean, I've, you know, produced music for quite some time in different genres and stuff like that. But this is my first proper Amapiano release. And I don't know, I'm proud of it. But I do have this weird, like, you know, that artist sense of like, just, you know, you're your own worst critic. And so I'm just kind of like, you know, more than like, oh my God, I love this music and it's my best shit ever. I'm like, I'm just glad it's out.
Bro, I mean, you know, with Olympus, I've been fucking putting this thing out for fucking years. And I can't even imagine what it's going to feel like when it's actually
right.
You know, so I could totally understand where you come from that point. But even just to back it up for a second, Nick, he's a DJ, producer. Is there anything else you want to throw in there? Or are those the two main ones?
Yeah, you know, event curator, creative visionary. I don't know, some shit
even
like that.
Graphic
you know,
designing off the chart.
Yeah.
His poster game, next level, dog. Next level.
I mean, for me personally, like if you give me some creative outlet that I can, you know, have some tactile difference in my life or the people that I know, I'm probably kind of down to get into it. Like I don't do it as much as I did, but I was into photography for quite some time. I've got like, you know, decent enough camera and so I invested in like doing it just because I don't know. I was like, I could take pictures of my events or I could take pictures of my homies. You know, I really, I enjoy clothing and fashion and just the vibe of that whole world. So, you know, I'm like, I could take pictures for my friends' Instagrams or whatever, you know, just kind of like elevate a little beyond whatever the iPhone from whatever that time. I mean, the phones are catching up, so they're getting kind of crazy now, but at the time I was just like, I'm going to get a camera because why not?
Sick. No, that's another thing I didn't know about. Look at that, bro. We fucking 3 minutes in and fucking I'm already learning stuff about you. That's the one thing about the podcast that's been interesting. You know, these people that I've known for such a long time.
Right.
You sit down in this format for some reason and you just like learn so much about the other person. Like I don't know. I don't know what it is about the podcast vibe, but it's just like,
I mean, I guess you're trying, like the whole point of this is a bit of discovery, right? So we're trying to like figure out, you know, interesting things about each other or where the conversation might go, and you know, you're gonna kind of discover those things as you move. Whereas like if we're out at a show, it's like, hey, how was your night? How was your weekend? What's the basic, you know, top line, you know, basic things that I'm asking you right now. I'm not really trying to be like, hey, so what are your other hobbies, bro?
So what interests you outside of this? That's such a good point. But let's talk about the release, bro.
Yes, sir. Amaboza.
Amaboza. I was gonna say, bro. I was like, I'm not sure how to fucking pronounce this thing.
Yeah. So its translation pretty much means the bosses. And that track is done with my homie Lawrence, aka General, and Winter's Majesty. And Winter is actually on 3 songs. Actually, she was on all 4 songs that were going to be on the EP.
Okay.
But then one of my homies is signed to like this big like Afro tech, which is like Afro house.
Okay.
But so he's signed to this big Afro tech label, and he's been around in the scene for a long time, and he's a really talented guy. But he's really gone above and beyond to kind of like lend whatever helping hands he can, advice he can, insight that he can to me over the last little while.
Cool.
Just with the whole Amapiano movement that we've been doing here, he's been really supportive, comes out to the events and stuff, and that's not necessarily his bag, but it's semi-related. So the Afrotech movement is doesn't go hand in hand, but it's somewhat related to Amapiano. And so yeah, anyways, he listened to the EP. He was one of like, I had a handful of people that I was like, okay, I really care about what you think. And I really want to hear your insight. Shout out Brian, shout out Jerry. Those are those 2 guys. And and 1 or 2 others in particular, but those 2 guys really have been there to hear everything.
Cool.
Even shit that was straight trash. I assume we can swear on this.
Oh yes,
yeah, okay,
absolutely,
cool.
bro.
So yeah, even stuff that I was just like, bro, I just feel like there's a little something here. Take a listen to this. We're just going out vibing in the car, playing something, and Jerry in particular be like, nah, that ain't it, bro.
That's a real
homie, man. Yeah, because you
Yes.
just like, bro, I mean, people talk about it sometimes. I don't think people talk about it enough, but you don't need yes men in your corner.
No.
I don't need yes men,
No.
because guess what? I can be my own yes man while I'm making some shit. If I'm asking you for your feedback, it's not because I know for a fact that this is a masterpiece. If I knew for a fact that this was a masterpiece, I wouldn't give a fuck about anyone's feedback. I'm like, nah, I'm unsure about how this will translate to someone's ear. And I mean, even when you do think it's a masterpiece, sometimes the reaction is not what you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
But, it's so anyways, it's good to have really honest people around you that can give you feedback. And I don't know, in my opinion, if you're a real creative, that's where the juice is. That's what you want. You don't want a bunch of people telling you, yeah, this is amazing. Yeah, this is amazing. If you have a decent amount of self-confidence, which is, I think, intrinsic to being able to do some shit like this, like to create art and put it out there to the world, get on a stage and perform something, like expose yourself like that, you have to have a decent amount of confidence.
Yes.
Your ego has to have a couple muscles in it.
Yeah, for sure, though. You say some really good points, and it reminds me of, I mean, who doesn't love Rick Rubin, and he says, because I think a lot of people get super intimidated with feedback because it's scarcity. They only have 3 or 4 songs that they feel like are all right,
Right.
And I think that's a lot of the time, because he has this one quote saying that, like, if you have more good shit,
Yeah.
you're more accepting of the feedback. If you have 30 songs that are all fucking bangers and people are like, man, these first 5 fucking suck, you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, those first 5 fucking blow, but I got 25 other ones that they're like, oh yeah, bro, fuck,
Right.
So it's like, I think there's a mindset of lack of confidence in a lot of people's art, but then just lack of abundance in, I bet someone says, yo, your track, it's not the one. It's like, all right, on to the next one, or I'm gonna fix this.
Yeah. And I mean, as we were going through the process, so and I say we because it's the feedback of the good homies there that are kind of helping me with making some of the decisions anyhow. As we're going through that process, is just like, I want, that's like I said, that's the juice. So that's what I wanted to hear. That's what I'm like, you know what? I don't want to hear you tell me that everything's cool, because it's not. It's just not. And when you've been doing this for a long enough, like just creative shit, you know, like it doesn't have to be music or producing or whatever. But when you've been doing creative shit for long enough, you realize that there's always a tomorrow, and you don't have to do the best thing every single time you do it.
Oh, bro,
I mean,
that's a quote. Yes,
hey,
dog.
bars.
Yes, you know, because it's just like anything. It's just putting in the rep work. You know, it's fucking, bruh. Are you in the gym? Not every workout's gotta be your best workout.
Nah.
But you just putting in the work is gonna get you further to where you want to go.
Right. Yeah, you're gonna have those L days where you're tired, you're not focused,
Yeah.
someone's blowing up your phone, and you got to leave the gym early or some shit. You know, whatever it might be. But there's always gonna be a varied result of your. But you're going.
Yeah.
And you're putting in that work. And you know, I knew I was coming to do the pod today.
Yeah.
I don't know what my afternoon's going to look like. I don't know how long we're going to talk. I don't know, you know, I'm not certain I'm going to have enough time to go to the gym later, because I got some other shit to do, then dinner and blah, blah, blah. And I don't like to work out post-eating.
Oh, neither do
I'm a pre-eating workout guy.
Oh, yeah.
So I put in a little bit of work today. It was definitely like leagues from my best day at the gym. It was like, you know, but I put in some reps at the home gym and did a quick thing, because it's important about showing up every time. You know,
it's not to be understated, just showing up, you know, not to be understated. Oh, we got so many places to go, bro. We got so many. Okay, so let's
dial it back to the homie's name is Nestor. Shout out Nestor,
bro.
And his project Mishu Music. That's
Mishu?
Mishu. Miishu. It's there's some weird story about it. It's his like It's Shu. So this guy's got a couple tracks out. It's him and a friend of his. And they've got a couple tracks out right now, but the stuff that they have coming is off the chain. And it might say somewhere in there, but anyhow, the name of the project is something to do with Nestor's daughter's teddy bear. That's like her teddy. I think I could be Nestor, don't kill me if I'm wrong, but I know it's something along the lines of that.
That sounds fucking sick.
Yeah.
And so they're making the Afro tech.
Yeah, Afro tech. Yeah.
Okay. This is the motherfucker you're talking about before.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I'm circling back to that, because I
see. Yes.
You know, I didn't stray too far that I'm forgetting about where we were saying, but so anyways, I let Nestor hear the EP, and he said this one track called Siajola with Winter on it. He's like, that's the one. He's like, take it off the EP. And my other two homies who I mentioned, Brian and Jerry, they kind of very much felt the same way. They're like, bro, that's the one. That's the one. Like when I first played it to them, they started freaking out, and they're like, oh, bro, we got one here. You know, so it's a little bit more of like a soulful piano track. So Amapiano has a bunch of different subgenres, which for anyone getting into the music at this point in the game, or within the last few years when it's kind of like blown up, it's not as obvious always. But anyways, so there's like a section of piano called private school, and that's more just like the soulful vibes.
Sick.
This is kind of the most private school leaning track that we've done, and it has like a little bit of a unique beat in it in terms of like the production and where I took it. And you know, I remember the very first time I played the beat to Jerry, he said, Nick, the price has gone up. You know,
let's go.
But I ended up passing it to Winter. She ended up getting on it, and the results are great. So I'm really happy with it. Again, Nestor was like, yo, take it off, like just be patient with that one, because I think there's something there. When it comes out, hey, maybe it falls flat. Who knows?
Of course.
But
course.
It doesn't really matter to me. It's just like, you know,
Word.
someone said to me, hey, I think you should do this. So let's, you know, I'm going to take their advice. Why not? You know, like I don't
Very
have anything to
cool.
lose by taking the advice. Like
yeah.
the track doesn't come out for a little while longer. No big deal. It's still going to come out.
Word. Very interesting. So this was originally going to be a 5-track EP.
No. So
Okay.
Winter was on all 4 tracks.
Okay.
Then one of the tracks, Lawrence General jumped on that.
Okay.
And then when we decided to take Siajola off, I was like, I had a couple ideas of some other songs. That one was just a solo track instrumental, and I was gonna put that one on, which was definitely like kind of to replace that private school vibe.
Okay.
It was like a little bit more of a soulful track with like, you know, some nice horns in it, and
Cool.
it's a vibe. But then my homie Tanaka sent me this DJ Tanap. He's part of Keys to the City. So
Hey.
he sent me this, like, I don't know, it was like 32 bars or something that he was working on. And he was like, bro, what do you think of this? Like, he's like, I feel like there's a vibe there, but I'm kind of stuck as to where to take it. And I was like, bro, send the stems over now. And so I went to work and cooked up on it. And it was funny because we had like, I was like, oh, bro, this is fire. This is fire. I sent it to him and he's like, yo, I like everything but this one synth. And I was like, bro, that's my favorite part.
That's always the worst,
bro. That's
feeling,
my favorite part.
That's always the worst, bro.
So he,
That's real.
So he was like, nah, I can't get it. I can't get it. We ended up finessing it. I reduced the amount of it quite a bit. And I tried a few different things. They weren't hitting as well. And I was just like, basically after time 2 or 3, I think I sent it back to him. It had been reduced to a very slight version of what it once was, but it's still very prominent synth line in it. And it just, to me, it makes the song.
Damn.
Anyhow, so
I love that.
or it makes that one part of the song. The elements of the whole track are sick.
Word.
But
is that the last track on the album?
yeah, that's the last one.
Project.
Yeah.
I fuck it, cause dog, I fuck with that one's the heaviest, I think.
Oh, really?
I love
Okay.
that one. I don't know what it is. I mean, the whole project is sick. Man, the tracks are it's so funny. When I was listening, I remember when I pulled it up on the Friday, it came out. I was like, 21 minutes, 4 songs. Holy fuck, these songs are so long. You know, most tracks coming out now are 2 minutes, 3 minutes long.
Right.
So I fucks with the lengths of some of the tracks. You can really get fucking into them, you know?
I mean, if you know piano and you follow it, that's par for the course.
What? So, okay, let's even back up a sec. So what, to the people that are listening, we've had talks about Amapiano before, but how would you describe, how is that different than other dance music? What defines Amapiano?
I mean, the defining element, one of the biggest defining elements of piano is the log drum. So the log drum was something that was first kind of brought into piano in a prominent way by this guy, Madhu, aka TRP.
Oh.
And he, you know, I mean, so I think it's called the DX10, but it's a VST in Fruity Loops. I don't use Fruity Loops, or it's FL Studio now because it's grown up. It's grown up.
That's right.
It's good. The DAW has matured. And I mean, it's a funny thing to say, but no joke, that is a DAW that used to be a joke.
Yeah.
That is now one of the most prominent used DAWs in the world.
Oh, for sure.
And piano in particular was literally like birthed on this DAW.
Crazy.
You know, and I say that not to say that everyone that's ever been a pioneer or a strong contributor to the genre has used FL Studio.
What?
But there's just so many. It's probably the most predominantly used DAW in the genre.
What?
And there's so many sounds that are from just stock native synths to FL
Damn.
that if you're making, like, I use Ableton.
Oh, that was one of my questions I was gonna ask.
Yeah. So I've always used Ableton since, I don't know,
Word.
whatever, Ableton 1 or 2 or whatever the, the birthing of Ableton was. Before that, I used to use Reason.
Oh,
And
yeah, Reason.
Yeah. So, once I started using Ableton, I mean, obviously I just know enough about it that I know my way around it, and I don't necessarily want to try to start that again. Like, I've tried to use FL a little bit, and I'm like, oh God, I really don't know what's happening in here.
I mean, as simple as it is to use, it's like, man, it's just like learning a whole new toolbox again. You know?
Yeah. And I mean, listen, I don't doubt that if I really dove into it for more than like 15 minutes at a time, I'm like I've literally tried to use it, like, I think twice, and it's been like 10 or 15 minutes each time, and I'm like, yeah, nah.
Yeah. Of course.
But if I did, I'm sure I could, but it's like, I'm spending that time learning this DAW instead of creating.
Yeah.
And maybe the day will come, but for right now, I'm just like, I'm happy kind of creating. So,
because Ableton is pretty set up for making like EDM style of music, hey?
I mean, it's set up to make anything, really.
Wow.
I'll be like, yeah.
It just seems that style of, like, it seems like, well, I guess that's not true, but it's like I don't see a lot of rappers dialing it up with Ableton,
I mean, I think I describe it as the toolkit you're using. So the toolkit you're using is very situational, I think, a lot of times. And it's really interesting the way situation shapes culture, because when I don't know that had God, what was his name? Cool Herc, not
DJ.
gone to Jamaica and saw the selectors in Jamaica toasting and over top of the rhythms. If he would have come back to New York to like introduce that style of emceeing on top of breakbeats, the way that he did, and then for anyone listening that I kind of screwing up the facts, please forgive me. But it's roughly speaking, and like there was this guy named Uroy who was one of the first people to ever be like properly like toasting on top of rhythms. So in Jamaica, that's just what they call the backing track. It's in dance hall, it's just a rhythm. So he heard that, and then he came back to the US, and that's kind of a lot of where the birth of hip hop came from. That, and obviously also sampling the break beats, because when they were playing the street parties, the break beat was repeated so that break dancers could break dance to it more, right? So these are all like very situational scenarios that weren't birthed out of any purposeful thing necessarily. It was just based on, hey, here's what we want to do, here's the tools we have, and that's sort of it. So I think for like EDM, Ableton was kind of one of the like new DAWs that was kind of taking main stage. It was more intuitive than I think Logic or Cubase. It had a better workflow at a certain time. And it was just what some of the pioneers were using. So when you're looking up to those people, like Skrillex, for instance, he's a big Ableton guy.
Oh, I see. Yeah, and that seems to make the most sense now. You make an interesting point. Yeah, obviously. That's so interesting. It's just like was it Brooklyn, where the fucking DJ hip hop really took off, where the production hip hop really took off, when there was those riots in, is it New York City? Fuck. Because well,
New York is the birthplace of hip hop, so I
think it was New York City. I could be wrong exactly where it was, but anyways, there was these huge riots, and the motherfuckers, because the entrance was still so high to make a song back then, but what happened was there's this huge riot in the city, and so a bunch of fucking rappers and producers were like, all right, fuck it, man. Everyone's breaking in and stealing shit. We'll go to the music stores and we'll break in and we'll steal a bunch of fucking sampling kits and
Like
shit.
NPCs.
Yeah. And so then it fucking just blew up right after those riots.
Right.
People were dropping tracks like crazy because everyone was recording off stolen shit.
Okay. I didn't ever know that, but that's interesting. I'm gonna look into that a little
It's
bit
in
more.
that fucking hip hop evolution.
Oh, the
show.
one that's on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that?
I have, but I may
It's
have.
long.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
You know, and between that and whatever other documentaries I'm watching, you know, like you kind of like there's another one on Netflix called Afrobeats, and it's all about the birthing and evolution of Afrobeats in largely in Ghana, Nigeria, but you know, it touches on stuff from all over the continent. And
that's sick.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that's so dope about I know there's so much content, there's so much things coming out, but there's so many things if you're using your time wisely that you can learn with, like, you know, all the crazy even the things that are coming out on YouTube, the self-produced documentaries on things. Like I watched this thing on these fucking Japanese puzzle box these one night, and it was the craziest thing I ever. I'm most inspired by anyone who's just like super into whatever they're doing.
Right.
I'm just like, oh fuck, you've made puzzles for 20 years. Like, you know, you're a master puzzler. Like, what does this mean? You know? And I was just enthralled in this fucking 45-minute documentary that this magician put on. It was a magician who loves these fucking puzzle boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And he went and made this like mini doc on it. And I was just like, this is fucking, I know I've talked about this on the podcast before, but it's just because it's that sick of a fucking piece of content. You know?
Right. What's it called?
Oh, fuck. That's a good question. Was fuck it right there. How Japanese, this thing.
Okay.
How Japanese secret puzzle boxes are made by Chris Ramsey. So this guy, he's a magician, but he also is like he solves super hard puzzles. And so they interviewed all these puzzle makers, dog, and they go into this, like, a puzzle from this Japanese company costs like $200, $300, $400. Like, you know, it's like and they're made out of wood. And they'll have like, okay, it takes 230 moves to solve this puzzle. And it's just like, you start to the one dude, I was just like, okay, this guy has to be the master. At the end, it's like, so how do you start the puzzle? He's like, you have to start by telling a story. And I was like, holy fuck.
Hey.
Let's go, bro.
But I mean, you know, people when they're doing these whatever creative things, like, you know, you always have your own story in your head about what you're doing, and they're, even if you're not telling it in a literal sense, you're telling it somehow by, you know, whatever it is that you're doing. Like, there's like, if you kind of think about anyone's creative output, you know, even like someone's skateboarding, there's a story to that, because you've got your own style, you've developed your own set of tricks that are in your own bag, and all of those things came from like a literal story of your life. Like, why is it that one guy is going to do, like, you know, the craziest 20 set of stairs, and another guy's going to ride the half pipe? Because they're going to, like, they've come from different experiences on the same craft, but there's a story behind each one of them, and like how they got there and why. And again, a lot of it's situational, because if you have a nice 20 set by your house as a kid, pardon me, that's where you're going to go skate. If you've got access to a half pipe or like a pool or a bowl, that might be your discipline because that's just what was around.
Yeah.
So actually, to take that back to FL Studio, and just Amapiano. So it was like largely created in the townships of South Africa, and because FL is one of the most affordable DAWs, or maybe it's crackable, I have no idea. I don't do that kind of thing. I pay for my gear, bro.
I can't say I always have.
Yeah. I mean, you know, there's the buy before you try. Or try before you buy. Sorry. But yeah, you know, it was just like what's accessible. And so that's accessible. And then, you know, are you buying a third-party plugin, or are you using what is in the DAW already to create the coolest thing that you can with that? So to get back to the log drum, that's a sound that was in, I think it's called the DX10, but I don't know, whatever. There's one of the plugins in FL that is that has that sound in it.
Wow, that
And
comes stock.
Yeah, and it's it's stock plug. And so yeah, when that was introduced to piano, you know, it was kind of has become one of the defining elements of that genre. And so large and in part it's derived from Afro house, some Cueto, and or maybe not Afro house, because it wasn't at the time modern day Afro house, but like how South African house music. And but it's slower. So when people were doing beats faster, some of the, you know, the pioneers that are, you know, at the top of the game today decided to start making beats that were just like a little slower. And the kick drum is there, but it's very hard to hear. Like it's almost only sub, and I'd say like 90 and below, 100 and below, you know, 150 below maybe, but like, and it's starting to evolve now, where people are incorporating different elements of, you know, maybe more Western production, but that was just the sound that it had coming up and still has. Wow. And so there's very most of the time there's a very predominant like shaker in the background that kind of you know, acts as your backbone to your kind of rhythm. And like I said, the kick is there, but it's very quiet. And yeah, there's a lot of like repetitiveness to it, and a lot of anticipation, and a lot of like, which is why the songs are so long. Wow. So they create like a mood, and you'll have these elements that are coming in that are like, you know, you've got bass, you've got melody, you've got vocals, you've got all of this stuff before the actual big bang of a track. And, you know, when you think about like, say, hip hop for the most part, you know, it's very quick to get to the point. Yeah. You know, like,
for sure.
And this is much longer to get to the point. Whereas, which is why, like, as a DJ, traditionally, and I say traditionally, like the genre is like 10 years old at most. And so it's like, or it might be even a little older, but you know, it's more or less 10 years old. But traditionally it's been played like house music. So despite it having influences of like hip hop and dance hall and all of these, you know, other genres, the way and the style that it's DJ'd is a lot more like house music. Whereas if you take Afro beats, which is like, you know, like DeVito and WizKid and Burna Boy and stuff like that, the way that the music's structured and the way it's DJ'd is a lot more similar to hip hop.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah, it's just like it's quick to the point. The structures of the songs, you know, the songs typically aren't nearly as long.
Yeah.
And they're just, you know, they're sort of on that like pop music sort of structure where it's just, you know, we're at the point of the song within 30 seconds. Yeah,
you know, yeah. For sure. Interesting, dog. Mm-hmm. And so what has drawn you to what, you know, out of all the, because I know you dabbled in other genres. So what because you really are, it seems like kind of all into the Amapiano vibe, you know? Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a long story, but obviously we're here to tell stories. So maybe I'll get into it. But, but I mean, to sum it all up, and then I can kind of go backwards.
Also, I don't know if you smoke weed. I don't know if you want to smoke.
You know what? Weed. If I smoke that, bro, you'll have 0 words coming out of my mouth.
I'll offer, and there's no obligation.
You know, weed to me these days is I'm going to bed.
Oh,
I'm going to bed and I'm ready to turn out the lights.
Game over. for
Yeah,
the day.
have a little puff and then I'm off to bed.
Oh, beautiful, bro.
Although sometimes I do like to do this really weird thing, and a lot of people find it super strange.
You were about to
But
say.
but I'll get I'll get home, and you know I'm out, had a night, and then I'm having like a quick little puff to like wind down,
Yeah.
and I finish that, come inside, and I'm like, I really want to work out, and I don't know why. I mean, I've heard like a lot of people enjoy smoking weed before they work out.
I do.
Not my thing, but also I don't try it a lot because I have things to do in life, and that it just comatose me.
Oh, I totally understand. But I even now I'm only training twice a week, and they're full bodies, and they take like fucking 2.5, 3 hours. It's like
Okay.
brutal, just a couple days a week. And so I started doing it. I usually smoke the vape right before I get in. And
Yeah.
then I take an edible, and then I'm just fucking in it for a few hours.
Okay, shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
Not all the time, but if I'm going in like that.
I mean, listen, I'm not opposed to trying things. I like to experiment, to try different ways of operating on things to see what could be most effective for me.
Word.
But if I were a betting man, I'd say you might find me sleeping on the bench as opposed to working out.
And that's the thing too. It's just like even 2 weeks. I do these videos now. It's like 1 meal a day thing. I'm doing 1 meal a day for like
Yeah,
a
I saw that.
year.
Yeah.
And it's doing pretty good. The podcast is doing pretty good. Everything's been growing lately, which has been fun.
So the 1 meal a day, is this is a new thing for you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, but I kind of what it was to show is I really wanted to get more shredded. I did a men's physique competition about 10 years ago.
Okay.
10 years ago, next year, 2024. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to compete again because it's a whole thing.
Right.
And that's not really my vibe anymore, It
Yeah.
never really was. It never really was my vibe. It was more just like I like to do things that are really out of my comfort zone.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I did a men's physique show. And so I was like, okay, you know what? This year I'll get just as shredded just to see what 10 years different of training looks like,
Right.
And so my homie convinced me. He's like, you know what? You should just you could probably help a lot of people showing them what you eat every day and your activity levels, getting to your goal, and what real weight loss looks like as opposed to fucking, I lost fucking 40 pounds in 3 days.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it for I don't know exactly when this podcast comes out, but I've been doing it for weeks and weeks now, actually a couple of months, and it's interesting. It's interesting to hear people's People have been seeing my videos and being like, "Oh, this is sick. I'll start making my own videos every day now too."
Oh,
and
okay.
so now they're tagging me into their daily videos.
Yeah.
And fasting is not something brand new to me, but the strict okay, I'm only eating 1 meal for an entire year. That's the thing that's like.
So it's like 1 meal a day for an entire year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's all it is.
Yeah.
People seem to be gaining something from it, but the podcast, it's all these things have been doing. But on those, I try not. Why even bring this up? On those, I try not to be like, I'm getting nice and high before I go to the gym.
Right.
I try to keep those
Yeah,
PG.
Yeah.
And then like the podcast and everything else
Can be a bit more.
Yeah, you'll even see me on my Instagram smoking weed before I go in the gym sometimes, But those videos, I'm like, nah, this is for
keep it nice and wholesome.
I try to at least sometimes
Keep it inspiring.
Because
because like I said, weed ain't for everyone. So it's like for me, it might hit me a lot different than it's gonna hit you. But
absolutely.
So that might not be inspiring to someone that's like, oh, I need weed to do this.
And that's exactly, and that's because it's so interesting how people really fucking take what you say in those videos to heart,
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, bro, that's not even what I meant by that,
Right.
Even when I'm trying to say something educational, it's like, oh, you took that the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's like,
Or the internet's a very judgmental place, so it's very easily someone's like, he's actually kind of weak, bro. He couldn't do that without the weed. That weed is his superpower. Like,
like, have you spent 3 days in darkness, bro? It's always my comeback.
That's some wild shit. We should talk about that after, but
We got so okay. But to circle back, we'll talk about Amapiano because I really want to talk more about your project too, bro.
yeah.
There's so much to talk about. Because obviously as an artist who puts out songs, who puts projects together, and especially because I'm trying to get more into into like dance music,
Right,
it's something after the 2 Olympus projects. I'm working on another album called Mr. J and the Heartbroken Homies, and that one's all just gonna be a break from kind of typical hip hop
Right.
thing and just go into just an album of dance while I make my next kind of rap album.
Okay.
And maybe I'll show you some of the tracks later, bro.
Okay. I'm excited to hear.
I already got about. I've been trying to make more dance tracks over the last. Some of them are pretty like Daft Punk influenced songs.
Okay.
I fucks with that style of
Like that French disco house kind of vibe. Yeah.
But then I'm also trying to incorporate a lot of like real instrument. Like I got this Sri Lankan flute player to come and he's playing. I did this like drum and bass track, and when the track drops, I got this dude ripping on this flute, bro.
Shit. Okay, I need to hear this.
So I'm trying to incorporate because I love real, even my hip hop stuff. I got choirs and real play. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to take that and incorporate it into dance music too. I got my homie. He comes through and he's shredding on guitar on some of these tracks.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah, so I was super hyped to hear your project. Just as I'm trying to absorb as much of the dance genre as possible because it's so huge.
Right. Oh yeah, it's crazy.
I understand why there's a billion subgenres.
Oh, and bro, every door you open, more doors. Like, and that's the craziest thing is like the subgenre of the subgenre has a couple subgenres.
And that's what it is. It's like, bro, I remember I was at this music festival. What was it called? I was the only rapper performing at this EDM festival.
Okay.
And I was real. That's when I really started to get interested in EDM music to begin with. Because I was talking to the DJs and some of the producers. I was like, how do you prepare for your set? What's
right.
I was just curious, because it's so different from rappers, especially. And a track would play, and I would talk to someone. I was like, so what genre is this? And so often people are like, bruh, it could be this, it could be this, it could be. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's like, unless you're an expert, it's so hard to tell exactly because there's so much.
Yeah.
Nobody really, it seems anyways, and I'm speaking from my own experience, which isn't a lot. I'm usually around rappers, not DJs and producers, but it seems that it's like people typically pick a few lanes to stay into because there's so much to grab onto. It's like, where the fuck do you go?
Yeah.
But then on top of all of that, there must be, and I know this is one thing that I'm not great at, but staying in like a lane, like to put an Amapiano project up,
right,
takes discipline in its own sense to not be like, okay, let's fucking throw an Afrobeat track in this instead.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because music right now is like, I mean, it's so diverse and just with the technology, people are making things that are an offshoot of an offshoot all the time. And really it's just what is a defining element of a genre. I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of how we all perceive it, right? It's like, and so when I'm talking to people about genres these days, it's kind of like the I don't know, what do you call that? A postfix, but like a E or an ish is a lot of like the like ways people describe it. Like it's disco-ish, housey, kind of electro-ish, it's kind of whatever, whatever the thing is. And so, I mean, it's one of the most beautiful parts about music, period, is that I think the blurred lines are beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, and we just don't have to fit into a box unless we want to.
Yeah.
And then your box is as big or as small as you want it to be.
Yeah. All good points, bro.
Because I do think that there's positives to both sides. You look at someone like Skrillex.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, there's no EDM. I mean, and even beyond that, he had a band before he was Skrillex, which was called, God, I don't know, From First to Last, I think. I could be wrong, but I think that was his old band's name. But they're like emo shoot.
From First to Last.
From First to Last. Hey, bang, bang.
Oh, yeah, and then he's Jack U.
Yeah, Jack U with Diplo, Dog Blood with Boys Noise. He's done all types of projects. And then he's really, I don't know, like the in-depth of their relationship, but he's been championing, helping, or opening doors for whatever it might be. But also producing alongside him, because I have seen them produce together on social media. But this guy, Vigro Deep, who's a big Amapiano artist.
Oh, we're talking about this dude, right?
He's probably the most EDM leaning piano artist that there is.
Oh,
like in terms of like an actual like South African guy making piano.
I see.
There's definitely people that are out there like doing these crazy Amapiano edits of like, Satisfaction by Benny Benassi and shit like that. Actually, you know what? This girl, Durban Go-Go, she just did a track. I can't remember who it's with, but it samples Satisfaction. And in order to clear it, or however they arranged it, maybe it was because she feels value with having his name on the track, but they put Benny Benassi's name in the track.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So however that actual factual paperwork went down, Benny Benassi's name is on the track.
Oh shit.
But
damn, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, there's like all types of people like making Amapiano influenced edits. Oftentimes you can tell the difference between something that is like an authentic track made by, someone from SA versus these edits. Like the edits are a little less true to the genre, where they're like they'll get to the point a lot faster.
Oh, I see.
They're predominantly like DJ culture kind of things, where it's like I could play a couple Amapiano songs that have that vibe and have that feeling, and then I'm on to the next thing. But in order for it to translate really well in the club, it's got to have like some really tangible everyday person kind of element in it. So Satisfaction by Benny Benassi, or like a Missy Elliott something or another, whatever. These songs that just everyone knows because they've been like club hits for so long, and in a bazillion different like ding 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 ding, that Missy Elliott Get Your Freak On. Yeah, like I mean, who doesn't know that line? I couldn't even remember the name of the song when I first did. And I just did the little riff, and I'm like, okay, well, there, the song's there. But yeah, so that's it's its own thing. And then, but Vigro Deep, he produces very authentic Amapiano, but it has all of these EDM leaning elements. And it's interesting because like, I was having this conversation with one of my friends the other day, and it's like, as I'm an indigenous Canadian, so that is my background.
Shout out.
I'm born and raised in Edmonton.
Word.
Yeah. Lived here all my life. I've traveled plenty, but lived here all my life. And so as someone that is fuck, I'm kind of losing track of what I was gonna say.
That's
okay. We might have to edit this part.
That's okay. And that's another thing. Actually, I even talk about this on, I think, the last podcast, because I was I go into something, and it just happens with longer form conversations.
Right.
You go on these tangents, you're like, wait, what the fuck? But you do that in every other converation.
Yeah.
You ever have with anybody.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, we're documenting this, so it's got to be tight.
Because I think a lot of people like that. It's like, oh yeah, they're going, where are they going with this? Oh yeah, they forgot too.
Yeah.
But you were saying you were talking with your friend.
Oh, right. And I was, so sorry, we got it here. So yeah, I was talking with a homie of mine, and I was just talking about like, making piano. And I was saying, like for me, it's very important to make it as authentically sounding as possible. And then we were talking about how, even though the genre is like 10 years old or whatever, there's a lot of a smaller window within that 10 years that has been like pushing really new sounds. So for me personally, like it's very important for me to make something that sounds pretty authentic. So I don't want to go too far out of the box, but Vigro Deep, because he's South African and because he is one of the, he's a younger guy, but he's definitely like, he's got his tracks and he's got his history in the genre, and he he can put forward a new sound, and everyone's gonna like be like, yo, this guy is like, doing this new thing and he's pushing the boundaries and he's a pioneer and he's innovating. Now, if I did something too crazy, they might be like, and is perceived whiteness, but the white guy from Canada is making some whack ass shit and trying to be, do you understand what I mean? It's
you're
like
trying to be like almost respective of the culture.
100%.
Which is a fine line between, and I understand that like you're just trying to show love to what it is. You're like, yo, this is so dope. I want to make it too,
Yeah. Like I want to make it authentically because that's what's important to me. And I see like, when we're talking about all the Amapiano edits and stuff like that, that don't sound authentic, they feel different in terms of like as DJing. They feel different in terms of consuming music, and there's a lot of nuances of the culture that are lost in those things.
Oh, interesting.
So, for me, like it's very easy to like, I don't know, get some rapper from here to jump on a piano beat or whatever. Yeah. But I wanted people that are actually like, from Southern Africa, not necessarily from South Africa, but from Southern Africa, and to be on the tracks and to actually be speaking one of the native tongues. Wow. And so everyone that did contribute vocals, which is General and Winter's Majesty, they all brought it with Zulu.
Oh, that's it. Okay. So that was one thing I had as a question when I was listening to this project. Was obviously I didn't understand a fucking thing that was being said.
Right.
And which I think is cool. I listen to French music, even though I'm part French. I don't understand French.
Right.
I love music of different languages because it's just when you don't have to listen to the words, you can really just get the vibe of the song, which I think is cool,
Right.
But that being said, I was like, this is interesting because you're producing the songs.
Right.
And so how does that process work with them? Are you just trusting that they're saying like how does that go?
Yeah. There's this very, very funny low key, high key element of like, I really hope you're not talking shit about me on this track.
Bro, could you imagine? We're just talking shit. Oh, bro.
Yeah. So that's I mean, I really, really have a lot of trust and just, I don't know, love for the people that I'm working with.
That's cool.
These are not strangers.
Yeah. The homies of yours.
Yeah. And we became friends through piano. And
sick.
They were all people that have really supported me, that have really been happy to see me doing this, that have really been, encouraging to continue on doing it. And I'll be honest, like these, some of these people I've birthed some of the greatest friendships new friendships that I've had in a long time. I have my old, like I've known you for 20 years or 15 years, like group of friends that are like, and as time goes on, it's interesting in life. My dad said this to me one time, a long, long time ago, but he said, son, when you grow up, if you have more than, or what did he say? If you can count the amount of good friends that you have on more than one hand, you're a very lucky man.
Damn.
And
yeah, that's gonna be a clip for sure. Bro. That's a good one. Damn.
Yeah. Dad has some wisdom.
That's a sick one.
But it's funny. My dad is a super cool guy, and we growing up we didn't have a great relationship. But as soon as I moved out of the house, we became like tight. Yeah, like he was just like, you know what, I like you, but from a distance.
Yeah, we need a space. We need a
yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
Nah, but he so he's kind of an emotional guy. And I told him, like, I said that quote back to him, like, this is maybe like 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I was just talking about it because I was saying, you know, like, I've got a few like very like if you talk to me about my dad, there'll be a few like moments where he'll or I'll bring up things that he said. And when I told him he said that, he was just like, you could see he was like kind of like and I'm like, yeah, Dad.
Yeah. He's like, oh shit. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, because, you know, like, I mean, I think as I have a 9-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
And I think as a father, like, those are like really the things that you care a lot about, is just imparting this wisdom that might not seem like it meant something to your kid in that moment, but then it stuck with them. Like, I feel like that's a powerful thing, like, to be like, oh yeah, that did hit.
Word.
You know, like you 20 years later or whatever it is, you're telling me this shit. Oh, crazy.
Oh, because that must be what, I mean, I don't have any kids. I don't know what that, I always think having a child must be the craziest shit, you know?
It's pretty wild.
So how would you compare, this is going to be a fucked up question, but how would you compare, how would I even say this? Where am I going with this question?
I'm intrigued.
I don't know how to phrase it. Maybe.
Oh, well, we can just hack through it.
Yeah, maybe comparison is the wrong word. How would you? I guess comparing your life before and after a child is maybe one of the easiest ways to put it. What would you say? Like, it must have been a night and day different kind of thing, no? Or yeah?
Oh yeah. But I mean, yes, in certain ways, and then no in others.
Oh, interesting.
So I've always pursued like things I love, and not really done well. Yeah, I haven't excelled at even trying to do things that I don't love.
Word.
So I don't often try them because I'm just like, you know what, it's not going to work out.
Word.
I'm a very passion driven individual.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm still doing the things that I'm passionate about before and after having a kid.
Sick.
But now I'm just passionate about the things that are for me, but also the things that are for her.
Oh.
And you know, I give a lot of, like, you know, I mean, she's 9, so she's figuring a lot of things out still. I mean, as am I. You know, and 9 years in the dad game is not that long.
Word.
But yeah, I give her kind of, you know, the freedom to kind of do whatever it is that she says she wants to do, and like figure some of that stuff out on her own, because that was my experience. Neither one of my parents, my mom, if you tell my mom to sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or Happy Birthday or like one of these like little nursery rhyme joints that are like so easy to sing, she can't do it. She knows the lyrics. Her brain knows the tune. Just it's coming out here, gone, bro. And so it's like, you know, I love my mom so much, and she is one of the most important people in the world to me. But good God, is it funny to watch her sing a song?
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So that's the whole. So music is one thing that you discovered on your own.
Yeah, so I discovered that completely on my own. You know what's the craziest thing? Okay, I'll tell you this, because I feel like you'll be like,
okay.
you'll think this is
Okay.
So when I was a kid, I had like my little ghetto blaster, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have a nightlight. I didn't have a blankie. I didn't have a teddy bear. I didn't have like any of these things.
Okay.
But what I did have was my ghetto blaster or my clock radio or whatever, playing music at an extremely quiet volume all night long. So I could tell you songs from like the 90s that I don't even know shit about. I couldn't even tell you who sings it. and I know the lyrics to it. I know the melody or whatever. And so I have this feeling, this deep knowing, not even a feeling. I have this deep knowing that is where any portion of my musical abilities have come from, is because I was literally like, I don't know what you want to call that, like if it's like indoctrinated or whatever, but it's just like it was subconsciously fed into my brain through just it simply being on. And I feel as though that's where, like, because literally there's no other thing I can tell you about that has happened in my life that would lead me to be even remotely musically inclined.
That is wild. Out of all the musicians that I know, no one has ever told me something like, yeah, that was a mind-blowing thing. And so how, like, are we saying like years you did that for?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, like whatever years when you're a kid that you just like, you have that like time where you need something to like, comfort you. Like it,
That's
like,
wild.
yeah.
So do you sleep? So now do you need a sound on when you go to sleep?
Bro, now I have no, okay. So I have the best sleeps now when I find the discipline within myself to cut off noise.
Oh.
But I have a borderline addiction to listening to podcasts when I go to sleep, and I don't have nearly as good of a sleep, but it is this weird thing in my head where, I think because we live in this like overstimulation type world.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, I need someone chatting in my ear about some bullshit. Because a lot of times I'm not even like really like listening.
Yeah, it's just noise.
Yeah. And I don't want it to be music because now music gets me too excited. Like I start thinking about things. Oh, I could incorporate a sound like that. I could make a riff like that. I could do this. Oh, that's such a cool vibe right there. And I'm just like, so now music gets me too excited. So I can't listen to music.
Interesting. Damn, bro. That's actually fascinating because it's gotta be, actually I sleep with the fan on. That's the
Okay.
I gotta fuck it. It's gotta be on.
Yeah.
Too much silence drives me up the wall.
Yeah.
Just when I'm going to sleep, maybe because I sit in so much silence, I meditate. I do
right.
There are times where I'm like, fucking remove yourself from the stimulant,
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to bed, it's like, bro, fucking just turn that shit on. I think my sister uses I think there's a fan thing on Spotify.
Like just like a kind of like a white noise kind of joint. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting, bro. So then when did you produce your first track?
Oof. So my homie Dean, I was dating this girl at the time and she had like, this is like, he made a cassette tape, bro. He made a cassette tape.
Oh, right.
So I think he had the same thing on CDs and cassette tape.
Okay.
But he's a guy that like loves nostalgia.
Cool.
Like he may have been one of the last holdouts to still be playing vinyl.
Oh.
But being like a DJ out in the contemporary space of like DJing.
Damn, and still playing vinyls.
Yeah, still playing vinyls. Like once everyone had switched to like whatever digital mediums they were doing, because you're either CDs or you're playing Serato.
Word.
And so anyways, he's a big nostalgia guy. And so anyways, he had this cassette tape and she's playing it and it was drum and bass.
Oh,
and
cool.
And I was just like, yo, this guy's fire. Like, you introduced me to this guy. So she introduced me to him. And I started off like being like, because, like when I was coming up and I found like my own music that I like loved myself.
Yeah.
It was hip hop.
Oh, sick.
So that was like my own thing. Like I remember listening to, God, I don't know what it was called. One of them compilation.
Oh, yeah.
Cassette tape kind of things or CD things that it was just like these like, a whole bunch of songs by different artists on one thing. And it's called like, rap tracks fire or some shit like that,
bro.
like, yeah. Something like that. Like I remember listening to those back in the day. And, but yeah, so hip hop was my first music that I kind of found. And so when we were young and like, gangster rap was kind of becoming a thing. We used to write like just horrendous gangster raps, and just all, bro. If I, yeah,
Of course, bro. Of course.
You couldn't pay me enough to recite one of them right now, but I do have a few of them in the bag. But
one day,
yeah,
bro. One day.
Yes. Like, not only is the flow horrendous, but the subject matter is like just cancelable. No, it's not that bad, but it's just it's brutal. So
also your first tracks were rap tracks.
Yeah, I mean, my first just explorations into doing something to do with music on my own.
Cool.
And it wasn't serious. It wasn't serious at all. It's like, me trying to like spit something into. I remember at one point I had a mini disc. Do you remember mini discs?
Mini disc, no.
They were like post CD, but you could really record like anything off them. You could just put like a little headphone jack into shit, or they had like a little mic on them. Yeah, these joints.
These motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you could you could record shit really easy. So I would just be like, playing a beat on the stereo and recording myself in my mini disc player and just, spitting bars, whatever. Anyhow, so point of all of this is that when I met this guy, Dean, he was a DJ that was already kind of moving. Like he was already, he had a couple gigs here and a couple gigs there, and he was doing his thing already. And so I was like, and I wanted to be a DJ, but I also wanted to be an MC.
Oh,
and
so what age are you at right now?
God, I couldn't even tell you, like some early 20s maybe.
Okay.
So if you know anything about drum and bass culture, for anyone that doesn't know anything about drum and bass culture, in the same way like we were talking before about Grandmaster Kool Herc going to Jamaica to hear the guys toasting on top of the rhythms, was the same sort of culture that came to the UK from like sort of like Jamaican, like second generation Jamaican bred immigrants that had come there, and they were large in part in I want to say it's like Cockney. I think that's what it's called. Okay. Anyways, there's a few like specific areas of the UK that this was kind of birthed in.
Oh, I see.
But they lived there, and they kids grew up and they were in the culture of their family, which is obviously from Jamaica, and then the EDM culture of whatever was going on in the UK at that time. So it was like a lot of like hardcore and stuff like that. But they would get on mics and just start toasting on the mic. So it's like, like toasting is like a little bit rap and a little bit hosting. So you're not like being like as, boring as like a formal host.
Word.
But you're not just nonstop spitting bars like a rapper.
Yeah, I see.
So you're kind of doing a little bit of both, and it's like a large in part like a hype man.
Word.
But with a bit more charisma, and maybe you've got some, like a few cliche things in your bag. Or maybe cliche is the wrong word, but like just a few regular
like
tools.
That
you pull out.
Yeah,
so,
word.
So anyways, MCing is a big part of drum and bass culture, and it's grown to be it's had many different shapes over the years, where it's been a little bit more toasting as in the beginning, and then it became like a few guys, like this one guy Stevie Hyper D or Skibbity, they're both RIP now, but some of those guys, these guys Fearless, Shabba, these guys were all like lyricists, like where they're spitting bars and bars. And then there's still guys that are like big pioneers in the drum and bass scene that were a bit more like toast host oriented, whereas like MCGQ and Foxy and these guys would have like little things that they spit, but it wasn't like a lot. So there was just a big influence of different styles of MCing on top of drum and bass.
Okay.
And there was a very specific sound to the emceeing, because drum and bass is 87 or 175 in terms of its BPM, generally speaking.
Word.
So it's like boom cha, and everyone's like
Word.
and so that there's like a lot of like that kind of cadence, but then some people have different vibes to it. So coming from hip hop, I was like, I really want, like, I love this drum and bass thing. I really want to like be a DJ. This is like the first music I cut my teeth on DJ wise.
Okay.
And I really want to be a DJ, but I also want to be an MC.
Word.
Because I was like, well, I've written rhymes before. Why can't I write rhymes now?
Yeah,
You know, like let's go. So so I basically met up with Fat Cat, or well, his DJ name is Fat Cat, but his
Sick.
actual name's Dean. So I met up with him, and then I was just like, bro, I just want to be the MC. And so that was that. And
Word.
yeah. And I can't remember your original question that led us on this particular tangent, but
where it start, like where you started to, like where did you start making music?
oh right, yeah. So then Dean had I think he had Reason. And
cool.
so then he kind of showed me Reason, and that's how I got started.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were okay. So what has, because even your last project, there's no vocals from you on it.
Right.
So now you're just, because at the beginning you wanted to do both. Now you're kind of just DJing, or do you got some stuff?
I mean, no. I'm not trying to spit bars on piano at all or nothing like that. But I guess, towards the end of my time, okay, first off, I still love drum and bass.
Wow.
So I'm very intrigued to hear your drum and bass track.
Oh,
like, no, I'm like, because I'm a connoisseur, a critic, and a lover of drum and bass. Like,
it's okay.
Still enjoy it.
Crazy. Okay.
My friend, one of my best friends, Brendan, like him and I, he's one of the people that like I make a really strong effort to keep some strong maintenance on our friendship.
Cool.
So every week, every 2 weeks, we hang out and we go have a few beers and we just talk about life and just chop it up. And it's like, it's an important thing for me to do, because especially with the way that my life is moving and his life is moving, if we don't make an effort, we might not see each other for a few months or whatever. And I think that there's a few friendships that you really like that are really important to hang on to. And, him and my other friend, Austin, from that period of my life, that's like, we've spent so much time and did so much, just artistic shit together that I would never want them to not be in my life.
Oh, sick.
So
sick.
But anyhow, Brendan loves drum and bass as well.
Oh, cool.
So, he, as much as like I played him this EP before it came out, and he was like, oh bro, this is sick and whatever. But for him and I to like really connect on like the vibes of like music, it's him and I connecting on drum and bass still to this day.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. So that's how I cut my teeth on producing music and DJing and all of that. But just towards the end of my time as a DJ playing, this is actually like, so many of these things have so many like arms to them and different ways to go. But so I started off playing drum and bass.
Okay.
Then I got into playing like, and I was large in part inspired by, okay, so this is even go back a little bit. There's an artist named KRS-One.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he put out some song at some point in time when I was like first getting into this shit.
Okay.
And it had a guy named Mad Lion on it.
Mad Lion.
He's like a US based sort of dancehall reggae artist, but he's very like hip hop dancehall. Like there was a little period of time where there was like this interesting little like dancehall influence going on with some like especially East Coast hip hop.
Wow.
But when I heard Mad Lion, I was like, yo, forget about this KRS-One guy. Who's this?
What?
And so I had large in part fallen in love with reggae and dancehall. And I
Crazy.
worked at HMV in West Edmonton Mall.
Shout
It was
out.
like, yeah, it was one of my like proper first jobs.
No way.
And there's this girl named Andrea, and she's I think she was half Jamaican or full Jamaican. I don't know. I think she was she had Jamaican roots anyhow. Her and I would go in the mornings, and sometimes like, you know, you're in there like stocking shelves or whatever you're doing like a little bit before the store opens.
Yeah.
So during that time, it didn't really matter what we played. We could play whatever we want.
Cool.
And there was no one cared. You just whatever. So we'd always have like, it was like reggae Wednesdays, dance hall Thursdays, you know, like where, and we just, cause that's what she liked and I loved it too. So we were just
Very
like,
cool.
this is our common ground. And I worked with this girl all the time. So I was just like, you know, like during this part of my day, I don't need to listen to EDM or hip hop or whatever. We could just vibe on dancehall and reggae.
Sick.
So I was like big on that. And then when I got into drum and bass, it was large in part like playing a lot of like dancehall reggae influenced drum and bass, which there is a whole subsection of drum and bass that is completely in that lane.
Word.
Where to like current day, like there's these guys chasing status that are like super big. They did the craziest thing though. So for a long time, dancehall artists have been featured on drum and bass tracks, but it's usually something they've already done. And then or a sample or whatever. Or it was in the beginning anyhow. And then there was a few original things, but I don't know, they just didn't quite have the same vibe that they do now. But what these guys chasing status did was like crazy smart. So they made dancehall beats, went to Jamaica. They had like the ins from whoever they needed to get the ins from to hit these different studios with these different artists. And they got them to record on dancehall beats. Then they went back to the UK and redid the beats into drum and bass, but with the dance hall vocals on them that were actually recorded to dance hall beats.
Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
So,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So then they put out the album, and then they put out a second version of it, like, I don't know, whatever it was, 6 months or a year later or something. That was the original rhythms. With the dance hall on them, and you could kind of hear how they were birthed.
Oh, that's such a cool idea.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I mean, those guys are dons, bro. Like they're real heavy hitters in the game. Like they're sick. So anyhow, so at that time I'm playing like this reggae influenced, dance hall influenced drum and bass. And then I started playing like actual dance hall and actual reggae in with the sets, which wasn't as easy to do as it would be now, because I was playing. This is still on vinyl at this point in time.
Oh shit!
So this is still vinyl, and I'm playing like the rhythm records back in the day were like you'd have like 5 songs on a side, which is not a DJ friendly scenario. And so you could get like 45s, which are like the smaller records with the bigger hole in the middle. Yeah. But sometimes you couldn't get all of the rhythms on them. And, you know, I didn't necessarily have access to whatever it was to get those at that time here in Edmonton, you know?
Right. Oh, interesting.
And I'm sure there's some DJ out there that's like, bro, you just didn't know. Yeah. But you know what? I didn't know at that time. So
you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. So I'm just playing like dance hall in with drum and bass, but playing it on these records that, I mean, they sounded shittier. They were harder to DJ, but I was just doing it, you know?
Word.
And then it was like, I think, I don't know, break beats or dubstep or one of these things was like kind of popping. So I would play some of those joints in. And if you played a track that's at like 130 or 145, if you played it double time or you played the drum and bass half time, because, you know, they're like the little 2 toggles on a record player, like 33 and 45.
Yeah.
So if you played one half time or one double time, they matched. They could match. So I'd be playing those, and I'd do things like during a breakdown, I'd like turn the record player off and let the track slow all the way down and then slowly bring it back up and then put it back on it's regular speed at 45, and now all of a sudden from break beats we're into drum and bass, or the other way around, right?
Oh shit. Okay.
So I was doing little things like that kind of like gave me, and I was still predominantly drum and bass at this point, but you know, I'm drop a hip hop track here and there in that same fashion. I mean, there's plenty of hip hop that sits in a halftime equivalent of drum and bass, like where it's like an 80, 85 to 92 kind of BPM, easy to mix in with a 175 track, because that's like the halftime. So, doing some of that, and then basically, I don't think I was doing much else beyond that at that point in time. But then the Red Bull 3-style concept came to the city, and I can't even remember who asked me hey, would you want to be in on this? So again, everyone else is on Serato. And like I said, Dean was one of the last holdouts. Well, I mean, I was a holdout in my own right too. But everyone else is on Serato, and I'm playing on vinyl here.
All right.
And so I've got a couple house tracks. I've got some hip hop. I've got drum and bass. I've got reggae, dubstep, whatever, all of these different genres. And I'm going to play all of these tracks. So the whole premise of Red Bull 3-style is, and especially when it first came around, was play 3 different styles of music minimum. That's why it's called 3-style.
Oh.
And you have 15 minutes to play a set. Oh. So you can do whatever you want.
Damn. Okay.
But the minimum requirement at that time, and why it's called 3-style, was because they wanted 3 different styles of music, and got 15 minutes to do your
thing.
Your thing, whatever that might be.
Damn. Okay.
So again, only one playing vinyl. Everyone else is on fucking Serato, and I got second.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you crushed it.
I mean, I did all right. I did my thing. I did my thing. I mean, I hella rate all of the other DJs. They're all like local Edmonton guys that were in it. Justin Fouche, Echo, which was the winner of it.
Oh,
David Stone, Dusty Grooves. God, I can't remember who else was there, but there was a couple people. But these are all like OG Edmonton DJ guys.
Oh, damn. Okay, so what year are we saying this is?
Bro, I couldn't even tell you. I honestly, I couldn't tell you. But if you look up when Serato came out, sometime in and around that.
Okay. Oh shit. All
I
right.
mean, it was maybe like a year after it came out or something.
Okay.
I was I was a holdout, because I was like, nah, you don't DJ on computers. That shit's for fucking. Nah, man, that ain't it.
So when did you make the switch?
After this Red Bull 3-style. Because I was like, if I can get second with just wax, think about what I could do if I was on a fucking computer.
Word.
Like that shit looks crazy.
Damn. Oh, so right after you're like, okay, I gotta learn this.
Yeah,
shit,
yeah, roughly speaking. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And so okay, this is getting so interesting. We're really starting to understand your background into what's driven you into kind of getting into this lane,
right?
From hip hop.
Right.
From hip hop.
Yeah.
You're going through all these things. So you come second at this event. You start to switch now over to digital, which now that's a huge change. You're changing the medium of what you're using. It's like going from fucking painting on paper or painting on canvas to digital art almost.
Right,
it's a huge.
It's like walking versus getting in a car. We're
Shit.
still getting to the same place, but it's there's a whole different ball game to how you're doing it.
First, so now you're making that switch. Now what you do?
So now it's like, the genre worlds are like wide open. Like now it's just like, I could play anything, and it's like a dope time, and it's fun, and you can just kind of playing it was a lot easier, and having it be accessible on a digital format was way easier, far less expensive. Bro, when I was buying drum and bass, you'd buy one single, and it was like anywhere from like $15.99 to like $19.99, and you're getting 2 songs, because there's one on each side of the record. But you're really getting one song that you like.
Word.
You're like, if you like both of them, like that's a gem. That's a gem. Bro, I remember the craziest one ever. Oh my goodness. Okay, there's drum and bass producer, big drum and bass producer. Anyone that out there in drum and bass knows this guy, Dillinger.
Okay.
So Dillinger had this song called Nasty Ways.
Okay.
Bro, this track was on dubplate. So dubplate is like it's like an acetate based vinyl that
Okay.
instead of pressing it, they cut into it with like a sapphire cutting head. So
What?
yeah, so like vinyl is like pressed, right?
Yeah.
So you get like a plate and that has all the different grooves in it, and then they take the vinyl and then it's pressed.
Yeah.
The dub plate was an acetate lacquer over top of like a metal kind of frame that's in the middle of it, and then they would cut into it. So now the dub plate
Interesting.
is only going to last you so long.
Oh.
It was like guys would show up at these cutting houses, and it was a big thing where you'd bring a DAT tape, because that's how you got the shit from the studio into the cutting house.
Interesting.
And then they'd, give it to the engineer, and the engineer would cut them a dub plate, and then that would allow them to play like a song they made that day or a couple days before or whatever at the event that night.
Oh shit.
So yeah, so dub plate culture was like huge in drum and bass and huge in the UK.
But that must have been an expensive process to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like it wasn't cheap. But it was like, whatever your worth was as a DJ was largely dependent on those dubs.
Oh.
Because you were like, it's not like, so one thing today is like, they call them IDs now. Like everyone calls them IDs. It's like basically a song where you don't know whose it is, or what it is. But that was like how it was back in the day with dubs. Like you'd have this fire dub plate that was just like your song.
Yeah.
No one else has this song.
Yeah.
So like
Literally
my worth as a
no one.
DJ is partly based on like, my reputation or my ability to be a sick DJ, but it was also based on the tunes that I had in my bag.
Because
Not me, this is before my time, but this is just like as a DJ.
Yeah. Because I even heard, I can't remember what DJ was talking about it. It was a hip hop DJ. He was talking about fucking his break collection of tracks, so his vinyl collection of fucking, and he's like, what I would do is all my records would be in different cases than they came in, so that if people were trying to fucking look at my bins and shit, they would never be able to get the tracks that I had.
Right.
And I was just like, oh, bro, it was that crazy,
It's a thing, man. It's a thing. When people come up and they're trying to, oh, what track is this? And they're trying to take a picture of my screen. And listen, I've been guilty of it too, but I'll cover up the thing so they can't take a picture of it. But you're trying to DJ, so you can only do that for like 2 seconds, and it's kind of a funny joke.
That's hilarious.
But there used to be this mode on Serato that you could make, and I've never seen anyone use it, but when this track actually went into the playing dock, because like there's all your tracks listed below, and then there's like side A, side B on your Serato. When you'd put it into the thing, the name would disappear.
Oh,
so like people couldn't come up and snap it on you.
Damn, they knew.
Yeah.
That's so wild. Okay,
Yeah.
so okay, where are we tying this back to? We fucking.
So I was saying that I was telling a funny story about that Dillinger guy, just because it's like, because you were asking how much records were and or what the difference was, and I was saying one of them is the money. But so anyways, I'll wrap this up real quick, part. But
we got
the
time,
Dillinger had this track on dubplate for like a year, like maybe more. Like, and this is the thing about a song on dubplate is it was like, they have like a couple months typically,
I see.
where it was like not available to the public, but you were hearing it all the time in like all of the like sets and on the internet or whatever.
I see.
So that this track's out, you can hear it in like Dillinger's set or the top echelon DJs have got this track now because they're like, Dillinger, yo, I need that track, bro. Give me the dat, and so
okay.
So other people were cutting the track that whoever it was that gave Dillinger gave permission to.
Okay.
So this track's out there, but it's not available to the public, and it's certainly not available to some young up and coming drum and bass DJ from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Okay.
And so you know, myself and the other guys that were involved around at that time, this was like one of the ones. This was one of those ones where you were just like, oh, I need this track. And it's sick, man. Still to this day, when I think about that track, oh, it's fucking dirty.
That's so fire.
Yeah, anyhow, when he finally put it out, he put it out on an album. The album was 8 records or something like that. And when they would give you an album like that, because it has to be a DJ friendly album, because otherwise you're doing the thing that I was talking about with those dance hall records where it's like 5 songs on a side and it's like the audio quality is pretty shit. They're hard to DJ on. So these are all like DJ friendly vinyl, because that's what drum and bass is. You know, it's not really like a music that people are just sitting around listening to at home for a whole album. It's like DJs are playing this shit, for the most part. So I'm not going to say the rest of the album was trash, because it wasn't. But you weren't buying it for anything else other than that song. Like if you were like, you know, really one of those guys that was part of the culture and you were like following the shit going on and you, that was the song.
Damn.
And so when that album came out, like I said, it was $15.99 to $19.99 for a fucking one song, like, or one record. So this is 8 records. So these things were like $75, $85, and you are literally buying one song for that much money.
Oh.
And this is also back in the day too. So nowadays that shit would be like $150.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, like, yeah. I don't know what vinyl costs these days. I haven't even looked in a million years.
Well,
but
freaking fucking.
Oh yeah, because your shit's on vinyl.
Yeah, coming out next year. $75.99 is what it is. But unless it's like, you know, you can get like a Taylor Swift from Walmart,
right,
for like $30. But it's like, man, like fucking some of these records. 150, like Kendrick Lamar dropped a special edition of his To Pimp a Butterfly,
right?
$1,000, or it might have been $2,000. It's like the vinyl game gets crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, I think now you're doing it because you're a collector, and or you're one of those audiophile dudes with like the mental turntables that are not like there's a level of turntables. So there's like trash turntables.
Word.
Then there's like industry standard DJ turntables. And then there's like, you know, I'm the richest guy, you know, fucking audiophile turntables where like the counterweight is like a diamond or a piece of glass. And it's just like these guys are like straight nerdy about this stuff, but hey, respect.
And that's it. I remember I went to
their
this
thing, you know.
I went to this one chick's house, and we were doing a photo shoot together, and we were just going over the shoot. And I go into her house, and she lives with her boyfriend. And I only know this girl kind of from like the gym and stuff. And so when I show up to her crib, it's this fucking amazing apartment. It's like a 2 or 3 story apartment,
like kind of like loft styles.
Oh yeah, it's insane. And there's just like these huge pieces of art and all this stuff. I was like blown away. And she's like, you're gonna like this. And we go upstairs. She's like, my boyfriend's an audiophile, and he has this chair. It's so the upstairs is just a chair, and then this room. And there's just these speakers in this one chair, and this dude, this room is just crafted perfectly for sound. I have no idea even what these speakers were, but just the most beautiful sound system I've ever seen. And she's like, you just have to sit there and listen to a song. And I just sat there and I was like, what the fuck? She's like, this guy will just come home from work and just sit here and listen to music for hours.
That's amazing.
I was just like, I love music and I don't do that.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm glad that there's people out there that enjoy it to that degree.
It's nice to know as like someone creating music that there's someone out there listening to your music like that.
For sure.
Like where the nerdiest thing that you did, like, oh, I panned this one thing over here and it's just got this like extra little reverb on like the, you know, whatever. Like no one notices it in the club for sure. Then 9 out of 10 people don't notice it on their whatever their home listening scenario is. Yeah. But there's that guy and he's like, oh, that was the most magical thing I've
Yes,
Like,
bro.
like he found the magic in that same thing that you did. That was the nerdiest, like, little detail,
Yes.
and no one's gonna give two shits
No,
about it.
except you and him.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah,
actually
yeah,
so
yeah,
true.
yeah.
That even being said, there's that. Because I don't know what the names are of these tracks. You have this in such a simple thing, but I was like, this sounds fucking sick. Is you took the one shaker and you panned it in like a circle, I think.
Right.
And bro, it was so small, but I was like, I was high and on the treadmill is what I was. I'm sitting there, I'm listening to it, and I'm like, fucking, I'm in the zone. I was just like, oh, bro, this got me fucking hooked right now.
Right,
you know?
right.
Just the smallest little thing as the track starts to evolve, you know?
Yeah.
But it was just that little. I love when people do shit with panning. I just remember that one specific part from the track.
Yeah, like the panning thing is so cool for like home listening. It's not great for the club.
Interesting.
Because it depends on how you're doing it, and of course it depends on the club that you're playing in. But so many clubs are like fixed to mono, so all of your stereo width that is especially when it's like extreme can kind of get lost. And yeah, so I mean, you can do it. You can definitely do it. Vigro Deep has this one track. You got to check it out. But it's a brand new track called Soundcheck.
Okay.
And he has this whole thing where it's like bass check, and he does like bomb, 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 bomb. And then he's like, what does he do? The next one's like treble check. And then it's like some of the little treble noises that are in there, and the vocal check. And then he goes pan check. And it's like pan check left, pan check right. And bro, it's so sick. And then it goes left, right, left, right, left. Yeah, and then it drops back into the track. And it's just like it's such a, like, it feels very EDM-y.
Yeah.
Like, and especially like if you don't know his tunes and you're playing that, like I've seen some funny faces, because I play that song all the time. I fucking love it. But I'll see some funny faces that are like, oh, what's Nick doing here?
Where's this going? Where's this going?
Oh, which one is this one?
Crazy. That's sick though. It's just a cool element, but that's interesting, because when I make music, I never think about, especially the interpretation of it in a club. You know, I don't make a lot of club sounding music anyway.
Right.
Know? But that's just an interesting thing that I don't even think about. You know, that you might, because obviously you're a DJ, you know, so it's like you have a different understanding of where the music's going to be played afterwards. That's an interesting thing that I never really thought of.
Yeah, as you know, knowing how that translates in a club or whatever, it definitely does make some of your artistic choices for you in some ways.
Word.
But that's just so you fit in the parameters of your medium that you've decided to.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think there's something to be said about limitations on what you can do in your art. You know, it's like I don't necessarily ever see that as a bad thing, you know, to a certain degree. But it's like there's still so much room. Actually, it's arguable. A lot of people say without boundaries, creativity is impossible, because you can't be creative if it's limitless. Creativity is taking some kind of limitation, because you have to make a decision.
Right.
You have to make
there's
some sort of limit, you know, whether it's just space on a track, whether there is, no matter what art form you choose to dabble in, there's a limitation bestowed on you just from the craft that you're picking, you know, and it's just like, to have like, you know,
I mean, a blank canvas is still a canvas.
that's damn. Woo, bro.
Right? Hey.
Damn. But absolutely. So this is getting super interesting. You have such a vast knowledge of the background of so many genres. You know, which is like, you know, I may dabble in influences from different types of especially playing with so many live instrumentalists, you know, that background in blues or R&B, but it's like I don't have as vast of an understanding of all of the other genres that you see. Like, you know, you seem to dabble into something and then also have a pretty big understanding. Like, you know, obviously hip hop is my main thing, so I kind of understand not the complete lineage, because obviously it's fucking crazy, but it's like, you know, all the big points I have a knowledge of. But it's like you have quite the range of knowledge in the background of so many subgenres and genres of music.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, it's part of understanding what you're doing. Like, so like if I don't understand why something is a certain way,
My apologies.
I'll never be able to know, like you have to know the game in order to be able to break the rules the right way.
Oh.
So, you know, for me, I enjoy and I love a good story behind, you know, as we're kind of talking before about, you know, all of these journeys have their stories. And to me, that's like, that's the sauce. Like, cause I'm just, you know, I don't know, when you think about anyone's, I don't know, just journey through life. It's like all of these like cool little things. So I want to know about those, about the shit that I care about.
Cool.
Yeah. So and then it's really interesting in how all this different music has fed each other throughout, you know, time, and to create what we know now as pick a genre. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like why is house music house music? Well, house music is house music because in the 70s they were playing disco. And then out of that was born house. But that was also made with limited resources in, you know, a lot of music. I don't want to say anything too, but a lot of music has been built or created out of poverty, out of impoverished scenarios.
100%.
And, you know, because you don't have a lot to do, and you're, you know, someone somewhere is artistic driven, and then you're, you know, especially back when, you know, you're on the street corner, and what are you doing? Like, you don't have like, you know, you're a kid, you don't have like expensive toys.
Yeah.
You don't have, you know, whatever, the internet or whatever thing, you know, like you don't have access to a lot of stuff. So then you're out there like, okay, I'm on the street corner, and, you know, you take it from like looking at like little kids back in the day, like doing jump rope, and they'd make up little songs with the jump rope.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What's that? I mean, that's breeding culture and shit right there, you know?
100%.
You know, you see some of these cats, I mean, have you ever seen this movie, Slam with Saul Williams? Ever seen this?
No.
Okay, so Saul Williams is like a spoken word artist,
Okay.
but he's in jail, and he goes to jail for like weed. Slam. And it's Saul Williams. Yeah, there you go, Slam movie. Yeah, 98. So anyhow, Saul Williams, this guy's an amazing artist, bro. If you ever want to like watch some crazy shit, like just or hear some crazy shit, bro, just give this guy a couple listens.
Okay.
The movie is amazing.
Oh, you say okay?
The movie's unreal. It's one of like my top 10 for sure.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. But there's this one scene in the movie, and, you know, and again, this is just kind of like to illustrate limited resources and how they breed, like situation breeds culture and all of these kinds of things, where he's in the jail cell. So, you know, they have nothing. They're just in a jail cell, and they've got like a table, and the one guy starts like, you know, I guess he's bored and he just wants to make music or whatever, but it's the guy in the cell beside him.
Okay.
So they're not in the same cell.
Okay.
So the guy in the cell beside him starts like banging on the desk, and it's like boom, ka, boom, boom, ka. You know, I can't remember the exact beat, but, you know, something like that. And then Saul Williams hears him, and he just hears the beat, and he just starts spitting bars. And then these two guys that don't know each other, have never met, like their cells are right beside each other. They when it's all done, like, you know, he spit, I don't know, for however many minutes, and then they were like, yo, nice to meet you, da da da. So they don't even know what each other look like. If I remember it correctly, I don't even think they know. They haven't seen each other before.
Damn.
But they reach around, and they, you know, dap each other up or shake each other's hand or whatever, and they basically form a friendship after that.
Crazy.
But yeah, so it's so it's one of those, you know, those things where it's just situation breeds culture.
Damn, that's so interesting. And it's such a, you know, it's like a concept that I'm aware of, but it's like, it is such a huge part of each person's story, but also where the genre comes from. So that's so interesting.
And then I always say that, you know, if you don't know where you're from, how can you know where you're going?
Mm.
So, you know, like if you don't know the backstory to something, if you don't know the history behind what you're trying to do, how can you move forward in the best way possible?
Oh, that's such a good. So that's why you dive so deep into knowing.
Well, okay, so this brings me to a very interesting story, which was how I got into piano specifically.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm a DJ, really enjoy dancehall, really enjoy reggae, whatever. And I'm at Heritage Days.
Okay.
So I don't know when this was. It's maybe like 2015 or some shit. But I'm at Heritage Days, and I was going by one of the African tents. It might have been the Nigerian tent or something, but especially at that time, it really didn't matter to me. I was just like, yo, what is this song playing right now? And there's all these super cute girls dancing in a circle to it. And so, you know, that obviously made it even a little bit more appealing.
Of course.
And, but I was just like, this song is crazy. So I went up to one of the girls and I said to her, what is the song? And she's like, oh, this is Premier Gaou by Magic System. This is a classic. And I was like, oh, okay, sick. Sounds good to me. So I go home and I'm just like, I'm Premier Gaou Magic System. Okay, this is Afro beats of some nature. I don't know, you know, I don't know anything about the nuances of the different genres or whatever, but I'm just like searching. So I'm just searching. And it's around this time that like DeVito and WizKid start coming out. And so I don't know if you don't know who they are, but those are some super prominent Afrobeat artists.
Right.
And there's definitely, like, you know, as I've learned from watching that documentary, there's a big long history before them, but they were sort of the first people to do this sort of pop music that had a ton of African influences and not trying to do what was going on in the West. Like, because a lot of people prior to that, not everyone, but a lot of people were doing you know, like hip hop or whatever, like to try to emulate whoever their big favorite artist was from the US.
Wow.
And so these guys are kind of coming around and I'm like, okay, this music's dope. I really like this. And I'm just periodically checking in, collecting what I can, you know, I've got like a little bit of it.
Yeah.
And then I think it was around like 2017 or something like that. DeVito came out with this song called If.
Okay.
Big tune.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm playing at this place called Avenue.
Okay.
And, you know, I'd kind of shared, like, there was another guy there. His name is Morgan, and really good friend of mine as well. And I'd kind of shared with him that, like, hey, you know, there's this cool sound. It's kind of like, there's some hip hop influences. There's some R&B influences. There's, you know, and everyone's dubbing it Afro beats. So there's like a difference between Afro beat and Afro beats with an S.
Okay.
So if you watch that documentary, you can get a bit more into it, but that's a whole other bag that I could go on for.
Okay.
But so everyone's dubbing this Afro beats. So I'm like, bro, check this Afro beat shit, you know, And he's like, oh yeah, it's cool. And one night, I was just like, I fell in love with this song, If.
Okay.
So one night, I'm just like at the club and we're playing, and I'm just like, could I drop this song? Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, it was just what, like, you know, we're playing like mostly hip hop.
No word.
At this point in time. So that's a whole other part of my story where life had divided into my EDM side and my hip hop side.
Word.
But so I'm at the club and we're playing hip hop and all this, and then and I just decided, yeah, you know what, fuck it, I'm a play this thing. It was like a sleep, like sometimes these nights were like a little sleepy at first, and this spot Avenue, which is legendary Edmonton spot.
Word.
Like, you talk to anyone that was around in that period of time, it was just it grew into like something that like so many people would be like, oh, I miss Avenue. I miss Avenue.
Damn.
So, you know, it was a little bit of a sleepy portion of the night, but it was just kind of getting going. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm going to play this. There's not too many people here. So if it like bombs and it's terrible, then whatever. But if it's great and it goes, then, you know, cool.
Sick.
Dude, played this song and there was like a couple Nigerian cats in the spot. And this is like Nigerian music. Or Davido is from Nigeria. And they come up and they're just throwing money on the DJ. Pull up. So I rewound the track, played it again.
No
Everyone's
way.
going crazy. I think I may have rewound it like 3 or 4 times. Like it was like on that type of level where
they're losing their minds.
Yeah, because I mean like that music wasn't predominantly heard in like sort of mainstreamy clubs like that at that time.
Oh, so these people are like, I can't.
Yeah,
believe
like
this is
yo, bro,
happening.
you're playing our shit right now. Like, yo, this is crazy. How do you even know this? Da 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 da. You know.
Okay.
And so, and like you know the way like a Burna Boy is right now, like everyone knows who Burna Boy is. You know, shout out Burna Boy. Just had the most amazing concert at Rogers
did you
Place.
go,
bro? Wearing the t-shirt.
Oh, bro, I didn't even fucking real. I love Burna Boy, bro.
Bro, so fire.
Oh, he's
so fire.
Crazy.
Yeah,
He's so
it was
crazy.
really good performance, and it's really cool to see his trajectory from. I think this was like his 3rd show in Edmonton, maybe his 4th, but it was sort of like Union Hall, Shaw Conference Center, or whatever they call that place now.
Yeah.
And Rogers Arena.
Holy fuck.
Bro, like
Holy fuck.
in that short period of time, in that frequency of shows, you just like leveled up.
Oh, God, that's wild.
Like you think about how many artists are sitting there grinding and just can't get past a certain level. This dude said,
fuck that. You know?
Yeah.
That's because he does just, even outside of the genre, he just makes, in my opinion, some of the best music. His albums are beautifully made. You
right.
know?
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh my God. Oh yeah.
Nah, and he's got a great vision for kind of expanding upon his wherever he's been thus far, you know, like his new album City Boys is like there's so much hip hop influence in it.
Word.
Which is kind of a departure from his previous sounds, but it's still done in his vibe and it's amazing.
Oh yeah, his discography is just getting fucking so wild.
Crazy. Yeah, and he's been on some big piano tunes too.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're spinning, you drop this track.
So I dropped the
people
track,
losing these minds.
everyone going crazy. So I'm like, okay, this is a thing. So now I'm like, I don't know if I played too many more that particular night, but it became a place where people knew that they could go to Avenue and hear like at least a little bit of Afro beats each night. You hear a little bit of dancehall, a little bit of hip hop, a little bit of Afro beats. But the owner, shout out Jamie, bro, he'd sit there and be like texting me, bro, enough Afro beats, enough dancehall, just because like I mean it wasn't what the majority of people wanted to hear. So it was like not his bad for doing that because he was like this is a business and I'm trying to, you know, have a good night here and a good night means money in my till and bro, if all you do is play this, there's certain people that don't understand or don't know or you're not familiar yet. And so he'd be busting me up and like sometimes he'd throw some ice at me from across the bar.
Switch
But,
the shit.
it was always dope vibes there.
Crazy.
So but it did become a place where, you know, we could do a little bit of that every night.
Cool.
And we kind of you know, just in our little section of Edmonton birthed a little bit of like a following in that world.
Wow.
There was definitely like more predominant like Afrocentric clubs that were, you know, probably running Afro beats all night.
Word.
But we didn't necessarily know where those were, or how, you know, who it was or what the DJs were and all that kind of thing. And we were just doing our thing.
Word.
So within our little world, like we were kind of some of the first people to do that, bring Afro beats to our environment.
Cool.
And then I'm like, really, I like, you know, day by day falling more in love with this music, because I'm like, it's a refreshing take on some similar vibes that I've gotten from dancehall and some similar vibes that I've just, been into in the past. So I'm, and like I said, this is like these guys, DeVito and WizKid and stuff, like they're breaking new ground for African music.
Word.
They're definitely pushing to a new level of mainstream notoriety. So as we continue on, or as they continue on, sorry, I should say, we continue to follow more. And so I'm just searching, and I don't necessarily know the cultural nuances of what I'm listening to or whatever, but I'm just like loving this music.
Cool.
So then I find this stuff, like there's this interesting little pockets of music in Africa or African culture that are maybe that you wouldn't expect, I guess, like a little bit more EDM-y sounding, a little bit more, I don't know, there's just different subsects of like different people making different shit. And there's this music called gum, and someone's gonna put me on the cross for how I just pronounced that, because so in Southern Africa, the Q is pronounced with the kind of click noise.
I see.
Also probably brutalized the click just now, but
You're trying your best.
Hey, listen,
while being culturally sensitive.
I'm working. So anyways, I found this music, and like the first couple tracks I found, I had no clue what it was. But I was just like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like it's kind of dark and brooding, and it's got like a lot of elements of music that I like. And it sounded so different from the WizKids and the DeVitos and the Burna Boys and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I was finding it alongside that music. Like the places I was searching on the internet for, Afro beats, I was somehow finding this music alongside of it. So then I started, like, I had this like little bag of music, and I didn't know the nuances of, I just knew that this was so different from that sort of Afro pop sound that I was able to play in a hip hop club.
Word.
But I really liked it.
Okay.
And so, fast forward however long later, I've got enough of this stuff now that I really am into it. But still don't really understand the nuances of what makes it different from whatever other than the sonic qualities.
Word.
Like, BPM's different, it's faster, whatever. And so I'm playing this party. Now, I'm up in like sort of like a tiny speakeasy kind of scenario, and there's a big main room.
Okay.
The main room had like a lot of like live and performance elements in it.
Okay.
And my room was just sort of like, my room was a super cool vibe. Like it was like they made this like old speakeasy, like looking like bar and tavern with all this super cool furniture in it. And it was like, it was a total vibe.
Sick. All right.
And it was a vibe where if you just wanted to like dance and you weren't there to intake some artistic elements or cultural elements, like in terms of like, a dance demonstration or whatever like that. Yeah. If you just wanted to there's a difference between the dance demonstration where it's people doing cultural dances and stuff like that, versus I just want to dance myself. And I just want to vibe, So I'm up in this room, and if you just wanted to come vibe, this was probably more of the environment, like lower lights, smaller room, just like a really good vibe. And cool. So with my first few people in the room, I'm playing Afro beats and like this Afro pop, Afro beat stuff and it's going off. Like, and so more people are coming in, and we're vibing and I'm like, I'm in my zone now. Like I'm cooking. Like I'm like, okay, I'm playing and the people are like, yo, this song, yo. Like, and so we're in a good zone here.
Yeah. Room's
busy. I'm vibing. They're vibing. Everyone's having a good time.
Sick.
And so I decide, you know what? I'm going to play some of this other shit. some of this faster shit, because
Okay.
why not? Like, this is a bag that I have, and everyone seems to be having a great time.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get into it. So I start speeding up the tempo, and I play some songs that are kind of like nice little segue songs to get to this stuff, and I start playing it. And I say this stuff because at the time I was, again, just collecting this from all of the same places, and I didn't really know the nuances of all of it. So I get up there, I'm playing this shit, and when I really drop into it, like play the first song, and it's like, you know, completely like a departure from where I was, but I'm like, oh yeah, it's time. This shit's gonna hit. Let's go. Bro, it was like so many sour faces. Just like, bro, everyone was like, bro. I remember there was this one guy, bro, this guy like hurt my feelings.
Oh, no,
He went
bro.
and stood beside the DJ booth, stood up against the wall, and just stood there with his arms crossed looking at me like I had just really offended him. And he was like, just to show me how much he was not dancing, he came to stand right beside me to be like, yo, bro, I don't know what you're doing right now, but this is not it.
That's one of the funniest things I ever heard.
So me, I'm like, I don't know what I did here, but it is, I fucked up. So I quickly got out of that, and we got the vibe back going again, and we were all right. But now I want to go. Now I go home, and I'm like, yo, why did that shit not hit? Like, what is happening here? I need to like educate myself a bit more. So I start researching, and I can't tell you honestly if I knew the name of the genre at the time, like when all of this happened. I may have, but whatever it was, I went back and researched, figured out the genre name if I didn't know it already, and then I figured out the defining difference of like what this was, other than, like I said, the sonic qualities, was, oh, this is South African music, and what I was playing was like Northwest African music. And so I was like, oh shit, there's like, you know, like little pockets that are really defining differences of this music. And it's, you know, the same way that, I don't know, hip hop and techno came from Detroit, or house and hip hop came from Chicago. They don't go hand in hand.
Yeah, you can't be playing the well, a little bit different now, but it's
right.
like,
Yeah. And
sure.
And I think that was kind of the experience of the people in the room. They were probably primarily Nigerian, or they had or from somewhere up in there, and they had basically, that was like the music that they loved, and they weren't either into, didn't like, or weren't aware of
the others
of this gum.
Oh.
So then I'm like, okay, so I do like this Afro pop stuff. I really enjoy it. I like this Afro beats, it's vibes, but I really want to like dig more into this.
What? Even with that experience?
Oh yeah, because like I didn't care, because I'd been like holding on to Afro beats before I played them, just collecting them because I enjoy music.
So this was really a you.
Yeah, this was a me thing.
Oh, very cool.
I mean,
the dude fucking crossed arms.
As somewhat of an experienced DJ, you do know when you're making a extremely large depart from wherever you're at.
Word.
And those moments can sometimes be so defining and just fucking hit, and other times they can be devastating and just trash.
That's so interesting. Obviously, I'm not a DJ. That's such an interesting, you know, you're like, okay, I got the fucking party going. They vibe into me, it seems like.
Right.
Then nah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you even think about like, say, an artist like Drake.
Word.
So the guy has so much music, I can't always remember the names of all the albums. But the one that he did right before this last one.
Oh, the dance one?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
What is that album called? He does put out a lot of music.
Yeah, the one with Jimmy Crooks on it. Honestly, never mind.
That's
Yes,
right.
there we go. Okay, so I mean, for him, that was a huge change in his sonic landscape of like, this is what people know me for. But I mean, he's one of the best at reinventing himself like crazy. And then he'll go back to like things you've previously known him for, but then he'll give you something new. And, he kind of does this like one step back, two steps forward kind of shit all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so, like for him, I guarantee it was very like, I mean, he was working with producers like Black Coffee, who are big, super big house DJ. So, it was definitely like well known that he was going to make this difference.
Yeah.
So, like as an artist, when you're doing something crazy.
That's fair. That's totally.
But you got to take chances, because if you don't, why? What?
What's the point?
Yeah, like man, I don't want to live like some redundant lifestyle, and that includes my creative explorations of like, like I'm an Aquarius by horoscopical.
What a word, bro.
Hey. But yeah, that's my birth sign. And if you like, I'm not a big astrology guy, but if you believe or read in that shit and you believe in that shit, they do say that shit about Aquarius people, that they like new shit.
Oh,
like
word.
they like change and like
to
switch shit up and shake up your world a little bit.
Damn.
So,
and so even though it didn't hit you, which is cool, because a lot of people would have given up. They would have tried something new. It didn't hit, and they would have been like, I fuck this, I'm going back to the shit that I know.
Mm-hmm.
But you were like, no, you know what? Let me fucking dive in deeper.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, the beautiful thing about music is you don't have to give up on one thing to enjoy another. So, like I'm still playing a ton of, like I still play Afrobeats now.
Word.
Not as much as I used to, but if the day calls for it, if the vibe calls for it, the people are there that want to hear it, and they don't want to hear what I want to do. You can catch me and on a good day, and I'll give you some of what you want. It's far less. It's far less these days. It's far less. I do more that what I want than I ever have in my entire life.
Very cool.
Which is crazy, but yeah. So I dive deeper into this shit, and through gum is how I found piano.
Okay.
And I guess if you're been around for the whole journey of piano, I was technically, if you really want to, break it down into how long this genre has been around, you could say I was a little late to the game.
Word.
But for the whole world, I was early.
Word.
So it depends on who you are and where you're from and all that kind of thing. But you were definitely like early. So then I was in talks with a couple people about doing an event. Amapiano event before the pandemic hit.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So we had kind of like started putting things in motion, and for me, because I have this mentality of like I don't give a fuck a lot of times.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna try something, and if I fall flat on my face, hopefully it's something I can learn from, and if it's successful, great, and if it's a miserable failure, I mean also great.
Word.
So I had this idea, like, let's do a only piano event.
Word.
And everyone was kind of a little skeptical.
A word.
So,
which makes sense. It does.
Yeah, but I was like, let's just try it. And I was working at a venue at the time where I had access to be able to try something.
Cool.
So, some plans were in motion. Not everything was finalized, and then pandemic hit.
Word.
So during the pandemic and coming out of it, we had kind of had some conversations, and when it was time to, come back and things were ready to get back in motion again, we had crafted this idea called Amapiano to the world. So it was a catchphrase that a lot of people in piano were using, because they're basically saying like, this is our sound from South Africa, and we bring it to the world.
Word.
Take it to the world.
Sick.
So the guys that I was doing this with and myself, thought that was like a fitting title. And shout out Bangers, shout out Eugene, shout out Kosana, shout out Yvonne. and La Connectional.
Oof.
So yeah, so that was like the collective of us. Like if it wasn't me, Yvonne, Kosana, which Kosana and Eugene are bangers, and then Yvonne is La Connectional. That's his like promotion.
What? Because
company,
I'm familiar with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they do great shit all over the city. Great
Right.
events. Great. Yeah. Great. All types of stuff. And then Kosana and Eugene are big piano DJs, but they also play other stuff. But I think they're predominantly setting into piano and Afrotech these days. But
Okay, cool.
yeah, they're really good DJs. So it was the four of us, and if it wasn't the four of us functioning together, we weren't doing Amapiano to the world.
Okay, cool.
So we did our first event out of the pandemic, and I couldn't tell you the exact numbers, but it's like 250. And then the next event was like 300. And then the next one was 350 or something. Some in and around those numbers. So whatever it was predominant in terms of like it was predominantly Amapiano in terms of music. There was some other music played, but it was very like 80-20.
Wow.
And it was a vibe, and it was a vibe like I have never felt in my entire life.
Interesting.
Like out of all of the things, bro, I've played Shambhala, I've played Center of Gravity, I played main stage right after Diplo one year, right after Marshmello one year, right after Wu-Tang Clan one year. And the vibe of these first two events, like now it was not only like the music that I loved, but it was like I loved the energy. I loved the reciprocal experience of like I'm giving the music, you're giving me the energy, we're vibing, and it was it was amazing, and it captured my heart and my soul and my musical interest. Like the music really is like some way almost every music I've ever loved, the best parts of it put into one.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Because that was gonna actually be one of my questions. What is it about the music that you like so much?
Energy.
Word.
And it's really like it's cool because the deeper you dig into the music, the more different energies you can find.
Word.
Like some of the biggest tracks that go off like crazy are the private school tracks, which are the more soulful tracks.
Interesting.
But it's like a lot of tracks like about love and stuff, and they're very like they're super uplifting, and they have this really like just blessed vibe, like just happy, excited, uplifting. And even some songs that are about sad shit are still feel really great.
Word.
And so it's like the energy of all the different subsects of piano is amazing. And you've got like really heavy stuff, you've got stuff that's like influenced more predominantly like with hip hop stuff, that's just there's so many different lanes within such a young genre. Because even if we talk about how it's 10 years or give or take a little bit old, the energy of the music, or sorry, the diversity of the music is crazy, and there's amazing energy to be found in all of the different pieces of it. Because there's instrumental tracks, there's tracks with lots of vocals, there's tracks with more like repetitive like chanty vocals that are just like little clip like pieces, there's like full on bars, there's singing, there's like, I mean, you name it, there is a little bit of some kind of energy that you could probably think of.
Sheesh. Okay, so I love all of that. And so then when are you like, I need to start making this?
So I'd stopped producing for quite some time.
Okay.
I did during the pandemic, I put out like a few little EPs that I was just like giveaway things or put them on Bandcamp. And And I literally did that as an exercise to stop overthinking.
Oh.
So I did, and this is like when I had nothing better to do. So there was like no, like we're lockdown.
Yeah.
And I started being like, oh, I'm going to DJ on, whatever live stream kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing Instagram live.
Oh, okay.
And then Instagram started doing all this weird shit where you had to like where it was first it did the copyright thing.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh, well, I'll still do it, but I'll just be mixing either so quickly or with so much overlap that it won't be able to pick up the copyright.
Yeah.
So I'm playing all types of crazy edits and just doing weird shit and just like trying to be creative with my DJing as an expression of DJing, but also to avoid the copyright thing.
Okay, cool.
And then they started reducing the amount of time that you could be going live for.
Oh.
So, I think it went from 1 hour to 45 minutes or something like that.
Okay.
And I don't know, it just felt like this wasn't it. And then me personally, I didn't really find the love for it in such a big way that I was like, oh, I want to get this whole setup and do like Twitch and all this other, whatever other lanes there were for live streaming.
Of course.
Just wasn't what spoke to my heart.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll just produce some music because I hadn't been producing for quite some time, and I'd always like I produce not seriously. I'd produce just for me. So I'd like, people would come over, jam on some stuff. Oh, here's a track here. Here's a track there, whatever. But I'd really just stopped doing it. And so I was like, and I think I stopped doing it a lot because I had a previous project with a guy and then we had a little bit of a fallout. But he's a great dude and he, shout out Jake, and he's now my engineer.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So like when he does like the mastering and
cool.
The vocal recording. So we go to his studio to do the vocal recording and then he does the end masters. So for this whole EP, all of the vocals were recorded at his studio and then he did the masters on them.
So then do you do the mix still?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
I mean, but this guy has amazing ears, amazing knowledge. His background is insane. He came from like being like a metal artist to like falling in love with like Bloghouse and then Glitch Hop and then
what the fuck?
And then making weird bass music kind of stuff because it wasn't weird that it was like odd or off. It was weird like in terms of it didn't have defining genre parameters.
Oh, I see.
And a lot of people just kind of dubbed that weird bass music.
Yeah, okay.
Cool. But yeah,
cool.
He's like some drum and bass influence, some trip hop, hip hop, glitch hop influence, but
sick.
All cool shit. And then he kind of got involved with this studio and he's basically taken it over now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, but anyways, when we had a falling out, like I said, it was his music knowledge is insane. It is absolutely insane. So I would have to, I don't know. I guess throughout our time together, I felt like I was doing a lot of holding on. Like I was holding on for my spot in the space in certain ways.
Yeah, I see.
Like we did this crazy Ableton Live setup for our performances.
Okay.
And it was basically like he would play the kick and the snare for every song.
Live.
Cool. I would trigger the scene of the whole track.
Okay.
But our bass line would be exported separately of all of that.
Okay.
And then I would sample the bass line and like, I don't know, rework it or change something about it, put some weird effects on it. And then I would do like 4 instances of it, let's say. And when I hit that bass, it would sidechain out the bass in our live performance to play my bass and then go back in when I released my bass.
What the fuck? That's a crazy.
Okay, so Jake is the one that came up with the whole thing.
Oh
like the genius level shit.
That's
And like when people saw our live setup, they were like, honestly, like, yo, that's wild.
that's nasty.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, I definitely had some levels of insecurity or just imposter syndrome in terms of our difference of like technical knowledge.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Like I was the one to like maybe bring him a little bit more of like the cultural side and a little bit more of like what is, I don't know, contemporarily relevant in terms of what we're doing or whatever it might be. I don't know.
Cool. Yeah, I see what you're
More
saying.
artistic input, I guess. And he had great artistic input too, but he had like this technical knowledge that was far surpassed mine.
Damn. Okay.
And he is very like well studied in like the weirdest things that he wants to do. Like I mean weird because he is unfucking real at what's that game called? Dance Revolution.
Oh, what the fuck?
like one of those, like if you ever saw him like I saw him do it one time and I was like, bruh, that was on a whole other level. Like,
wow.
you know, he's one of these guys that hangs on to the little back thing and just with his feet and going mental with it.
Oh,
yeah. So he's just like, he dives into the things that he really like cares about and becomes quite technically proficient at them.
Sick.
So so anyways, when we parted ways, you know, I kept going for a little while, but things kind of fizzled out a bit, and I think I just kind of got down on myself and my abilities for a period of time, and so I put producing on the back burner. And I just wasn't really focusing on it in the same way. And sure, you can always pull up Ableton, you can always have some fun, make an idea, do your thing, but the difference was like the end result was not things I was like doing things with.
Yeah.
So, you know, so I'm doing it more for myself. And then in the pandemic, I just did this exercise where I was like, I just want to put stuff out and not think about it. So putting things out, just like EP after EP after EP, and I'd make an EP in a week and then just drop it. And it's just like beats. Like it was just like, you know, like bass music beats.
Word.
But it was, some of the stuff was pretty cool.
Sick.
And then when that all, you know, came out of the pandemic and this Amapiano to the World event happened, and I was like, yo, like this is sweet because this music doesn't have to live in my computer anymore. Like this music is now not living in my earphones and in my computer, but it's now going out to the world, and I'm loving the fact that people are loving it, and
being celebrated.
Yeah, and you know, and I'm loving the fact that the music is having a home that wasn't as common at that time in anywhere else in Canada.
Word.
Yeah, there's a few cities that are really doing it well now. But at that point in time, it was like kind of like Edmonton became this interesting little hotspot for Amapiano.
Crazy.
Yeah. So so then, you know, I decided I wanted to make some songs to play in my sets.
Cool.
Whatever. I still have the very first song I ever made that I played out. Like not the first one I ever made, but the first one I ever made that I played out still sits on my desktop because it's so terrible. Because I'm like, I always want to remember the journey and the things that I've taught myself and the progression that I've made.
Wow.
And yeah, the first song I ever played out is horrendous. But it was a lot of like, I don't know if you feel the same way, but like, do you feel like you learn stuff performing your music or hearing it in different environments?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's an interesting point, actually. I definitely think so, because I feel like you just learn how people react. I think you learn all kinds of things, absolutely. And I couldn't imagine in your, because especially you're a DJ, you know, you literally are showing people music like all the time, like you know?
Yeah.
So that must be, so even for you, for instance, so you make that song, how long because for me, like even for like some of the tracks for Olympus, some of this like Sending Positive Vibes, which came out a couple months ago, that song I made when we got legalized here, so like 2016 or something.
Okay,
28.
okay.
You know, some of my songs, Dark Sky is the different that the one I just put out. That one was made maybe 6 months ago, but a lot of my music that I put out is made so long because I, you know, especially because I work in concept albums usually. So it's
Right,
like, you know,
right.
I'm trying to tell a story and then I might change how the story's, you know. So some of my songs are from fucking years and years
That's
ago.
crazy.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
like there's tracks. Yeah, I guess that would be the furthest one from Sending Positive Vibes would be because that one's from like 2016 and that one just came out and that one's gonna be on the vinyl. You know.
Okay.
So it's like the span of that song
Right.
is so long, years and years and years. But so how long did it take for that song to make it into your set?
That first one?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think like not that long. But it wasn't that long. I guess you know, it was part of the learning process, but
Yeah.
I wasn't as well learned
Of course.
at that point in time. So I was just like, I just wanted to do something so I could play something that was me. And I knew that I
Right.
had the experience of, you know, knowing at least enough to get something down. But I knew that it wasn't it, but I didn't know how much it wasn't it.
Word.
And I wouldn't say it got like a bad reaction.
Not like the guy in the corner.
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. It didn't get a bad reaction as much as it just got no reaction.
Yeah,
Like it was just like
yeah.
like, you know, a boo is not as bad as silence,
Yeah, because at least you got an emotional.
but it's not as good
reaction.
as a cheer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, so I would say that was in like the silence,
Oh,
but
okay.
it was, you know, it's not like the room went silent.
Yeah.
We're vibing, everyone's having a good time and dead.
You could just see. You could just tell.
I could just tell, like, I was like, this is not it. It's not hitting. Now I need to go back and figure out like what it is that I need to do to make this better.
Okay.
And like I said, you know, a lot of it is that I'm on Ableton, and this music is largely bred off of FL.
Right.
So there's certain sounds that are super accessible in FL that are just not the same in Ableton.
Yeah.
So, you know, then you get into like, okay, well, I'm going to try and find a sample of that sound and use that. Or I'm going to try and replicate that sound within VST that I know well in terms of like how to produce my own sounds.
Word.
And, you know, I mean, you can do some of it and some of it is not, you know, just doesn't come out the same way.
Interesting.
And then, you know, learning like the little nuances about the genre, like when I was talking earlier about the kick drum,
Yeah.
like in that very first song, the kick drum is like, it sounds more like a house music kick drum than Amapiano track.
I see.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
dominant. Fucking.
Yeah,
right
just
there.
like a stronger one. I don't think it was like quite as like, I wouldn't have said like, hey, this is a great electro house kick, but it was definitely more predominant than most piano kicks are.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you do that, you drop the track, you go back, you learn, and then so what's the time span now between that and this project?
I guess, so what are we? We're 2023 now. We're coming to the end of 2023. So we're like, I mean, and the end of the pandemic. So I mean, like somewhere like 2 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like,
Ish.
you know, like this is all pretty like recent, you
Ish.
know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So how long have you been working on this project for? Like,
I
what
mean,
gave you the idea?
so-
I'm gonna put out fucking.
Well, I wanted to put out something.
Okay.
Like, and I wanted to put out something that I was proud of. But it didn't necessarily need to be my magnum opus.
Yeah.
It just needed to be something that, because like I said, you learn.
Yeah.
You learn from everything you do, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to put out something that I'm proud of, but something that is going to teach me about how to make my best work. Yeah, I mean, you know, every and you know, it's so weird because you'll never know your best work until you're, I don't know, maybe dead or like,
You never know what's gonna.
yeah, you know,
never
you
know.
don't really know until you're like, until you've wrapped up and you're looking back and you can say like, you know, with, you know, any project I've done in the past, you know, you can look back and say, those were the couple highlights for me. And then there's always those sleeper ones that you forget about. Then you're like, oh yeah, that was really good.
Oh yeah.
You know, like, or whatever. So, I mean, but yeah, I wanted to put this out so that it is a tool to get to the next step.
Cool. Very cool. So from start to finish, how long would you say this project took
Well,
you
the
to
first song that was made from this project and sounded nothing like how it does right now,
Okay.
but is Sanke. And that track, so the girl, Winter, she came to my house one time. She had approached me and just been like, hey, you know, I see you're doing your thing. One day I'd really like to, you know, share the stage with you or DJ with you or whatever.
Cool.
I was like, yeah, cool. So we just chopped it up, and she is like my little sister. Like I love this girl to death. And
shout out.
Yeah, big shout out, Winter. And she's highly coming into her own in such a massive way right now.
Sick.
Yeah,
that's exciting to witness for someone else.
It's great. It's great to see. It's great to see. So, yes, she came over to my crib with these these two other guys that are in a production duo called 263 Production.
Okay.
And I basically just played a bunch of beats, and they were like, kind of like, okay, we're feeling this one. We're feeling this one. Da, 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 da. And then we ended on what was the beat of Sanke at that time. I'm quite certain it's changed a little bit. I'm trying to remember exactly how much it's changed, but whatever she put down that first night, cause like I just had like a little home microphone, and we just, you know, I don't have preamps or any proper recording scenarios.
It's pretty basic.
It's just like, let's put a sketch down.
Cool.
And go from there. So whatever we put down that night, large in part, is gone.
Word. Yeah.
There's a couple little things, but at that time she was kind of like trying to emulate some other producer or some other vocalists and some other producers' tracks, and I don't think as confident in her own self in terms of like maybe writing or performance or both. I don't know. But and is this kind of her first? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you know, she might have had a thing or two that she
still pretty
new.
Cool.
Pretty new.
Okay, crazy.
No, you know what? She did have a few things somewhere. Okay. I don't know if they've ever made it out into the public, but because the reason that I knew to even reach out to her was that DJ Tanup, who's on track 4, he said to me, you know, I was like, I want to find some vocalists, and he said, oh, you know who's really good? Winter. And I was like, Winter? Bro, we've sat and chopped it up, and she's never once mentioned a single thing to me about this. And he's like, well, I don't know, man. You know, we kind of were starting to work on some stuff or something, and I don't know where that went or what happened, but they were he knew enough to know that she was a good vocalist.
It's so crazy how things come to
yeah. So I was like, I hit her up and I was like, yo, why you been hiding this from me? Like I'm like, yo, you know that I'm trying to work on some music, and why are we not cooking up? And she's like, oh, I don't know. It's funny because, you know, there's multiple versions of a person as you get to know them.
Of course.
And the Winter of that time was a little bit
crazy statement that was.
Yeah.
Cool.
But she was a little bit more just, I don't know, quiet, reserved, or at least quiet and reserved around me. And, you know, now she's like, as she's growing into her own and we're closer and all of that, you know, I've seen her flex a little attitude here and there. Not really on me, but I've seen her flex some attitude on people when she needs to. Yeah.
Sick.
And yeah, she's, you know, definitely coming into more of a confidence in herself, and I think in all aspects of life, you know.
Very cool. Very cool. So then y'all start working on this together. So you're getting better at this time at learning the genre and understanding it, and she's becoming, you guys are almost kind of growing together working on this project, it sounds like.
Yeah, 100%.
Very
And you know, she just was very like on top of wanting to just do more and have more come out. So we've got, I don't know, a handful of songs that are not on this EP.
Sick.
We're constantly like I'm constantly sending her stuff. She's in school right now and works a, I don't know, semi full-time job, a regular job.
Okay.
So her time during these periods of time is like, especially like with school, like a little less abundant. So we kind of got this done when or at least the vocals recorded before she started going back into school. So now for the last few months, we've just been kind of had less frequent time to work on stuff.
Word. Interesting.
Yeah. So but yeah, so she came and we did a bunch of stuff, and we went to the studio, recorded a bunch of vocals. Some of the tracks we've tossed. Some of the tracks are still to come.
Oh, that's exciting, bro.
Yeah.
Because I'm into what you're doing, dog. It's I'm a fan, you know, like I couldn't wait when you hit me up and you said it was coming out on Friday. I was like, oh, no fucking way, you know?
And I mean, that was even a learning scenario. So my homie MJ, shout out MJ, MJ Wimoto. He's a guy that I met he came to one of our events, and he was just like, bro, like, respect to you as a DJ, like, you're doing your thing. And I didn't really know him before this. And I mean, we're still forming a friendship, you know, these days. But really good guy, great heart, and a super great resource to tap into about just little like nuances about setting up distro, when to release.
Different game.
Yeah, you know, like, so so it was just talking with him over that type of thing, and just, you know, kind of tabling whatever doubts that I had and whatever ideas that I had and whatever things I thought of my vision for the future was just great. Like, cool. He was super, and we literally sat down and we had a 2-hour conversation over some food, and it was just, you know, super supportive, and tried to give me as much sauce as he could.
Hey.
And then we pause. And sorry, I was just like, yeah. Well, some of my homies might be like, "Whoa, bro." But yeah, he just, you know, just shared whatever knowledge he could about the process, and then cool. I you know, was able to move forward with a little bit better knowledge. And then even on the day when I was uploading shit, a couple things weren't working, and I was like, bro, you got time for a quick phone call? And he's like, sure, hit me. And, you know, and so I gave him a call, and I'm like, oh, this isn't working. And he's like, oh, you got to do it like this, and help walk me through it, and everything was good.
That's
and so
sick. That's so sick, dog. Who, if you don't mind me asking, I don't know, everyone's things are different, but what did you distribute through?
Distro.
Oh, distro.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. So I wanted to use Kwale, which is a South African, like, he's sort of like, please forgive me, anyone listening, if this is an incorrect comparison, but I'd say he's sort of like a Puff Daddy of South Africa.
Oh, shit.
Like, he's a big music mogul in South Africa. He's an artist.
Okay.
But he's also you know, label owner, distro owner. Like, he's done a lot of stuff. He's an OG in the game.
Yeah.
And he's been there through many different genres of South African music.
Cool.
Coming in and out of prominence and that kind of thing. And he has a distro platform.
Oh, cool.
I signed up for it when sign up was available, but because my account remained dormant for so long because I just didn't put anything out, they like paused my account or froze it or whatever. So I went to log into it, and I was just like,
shit.
And then I dealt with their support team, which is a little questionable. Mosquito, get your support team game up.
Word.
Not that you need to listen to me about shit, but so I tried to deal with the support for like a little while, and when I finally got the word was, sorry bro, you'll have to wait till we open up registration again, so it's not available right now. So then I went through DistroKid.
Oh, word. Okay. In hopes to, if you do future projects, to maybe do that.
Yeah, I mean, my whole premise was like, I'm making music that I hope is enjoyed by South African people as well as the world. But obviously, this genre is birthed in South Africa, and this distro platform is from South Africa. So I was like, at the very least, it's not going to do me wrong to have this music pass through the hands of like some South African people in the music industry.
Yeah.
You know,
that makes complete sense.
whether they listen to it or not or whatever, God knows. But it was just like, it just seemed like a slightly advantageous approach to, as opposed to not doing
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Damn. And so then this has been a great, because we started with this and we're wrapping up with this too, because this is sick, And so you got this project out, and so day of release comes out, which, I mean, I don't know when that is, when this drops, but it was of recent.
Yeah. It was November 24th.
No, there we go. Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess just to use the actual date is better.
Right.
That's good for me moving forward, actually. And so, how do you, especially because you got more music on the way, you're working on. How are you feeling with the drop, with the release? How did that make you feel?
And it is literally like how we kind of started this conversation off with. I was like, it's a weight off my shoulders. I'm really happy with it, but I'm not putting all of my, I'm just not putting too much emotional stock in it. I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with everyone that contributed to it. I am super grateful for the experience. I couldn't have any more positive things to say about every single person that was involved. And that includes even like a couple of my homies that were just there as like, I don't know, moral support or moral encouragement, people that were just able to like listen to it and give me some feedback, people that had knowledge with the genre and a couple people that didn't. My whole just squad and team that was just like helping me out, Jake the engineer, his studio, Winter, Lawrence, like all these people were just like amazing. And so the experience as a whole was like super beneficial, super positive, super encouraging. And I'm now just kind of like, okay, what's next?
Oh, that's so okay. That leads into a great point too, bro. What's next?
I've got a couple things that I'm working on. One of which I'll play you when we're off air.
Okay.
With a couple homies from SA.
Okay.
And then I've got just some more stuff with Winter cooking.
Sick.
I would love to have Lawrence back on the studio. I was talking to him when I was on my way over here. So
sick.
I mean, he also is like has a very serious full-time job. So his availability is not super prominent, but when he's around, he's usually down to get cooking.
Oh, sick.
And then I've got this one track that is done with my homie Cam, who is, I don't know, for lack of a better comparison, like Justin Bieber-esque. In terms of like, which is a funny thing too. Justin Bieber is also sitting on a Amapiano track. Because his DJ was on this DJ podcast that I listened to.
Okay.
And he mentioned it. He was like, it wasn't like they didn't make a big deal about it, but he was just like, oh, Justin's gonna piano beat too, and like we're just waiting for the right time.
Sheesh.
And but yeah, so my friend Cam and I recorded this track, and it's fucking sick.
Damn.
But it's one that I kind of made the decision on that it needs to be a little bit more of a down the road track. So I don't know if I'll put it out. I probably won't put it out in the next couple things I'm doing, but it'll come in 2024 for sure.
Damn, excited. So lots coming from you.
Oh yeah,
Lots coming for you.
I mean, some singles, probably another EP, definitely an album.
Damn.
I'd like to say an album before the end of 2024, but you know, goals versus reality isn't. I'm very cool with not hitting my goals.
Word.
Like I'm not upset about it because, you know, for when I bring it back to like things I've done that make me feel that way is fitness. So, you know, I'm 5'10", 5'11", whatever. You know, 5'11" on a good day, 5'10" on a bad one.
Vince was asking too.
Yeah. 5'10" and a half, let's say. And but I weighed 260 pounds. Oh, and word. There was no part of me that was muscular at that point in time. So I had, you know, it was a funny story, but I told myself, hey, if you ever buy a pair of size 36 jeans, you know, like I'd been 34 for a long time, but the 34s were kind of, you know, starting to get a little tight, a little snug. And I was like, if I buy a pair of size 36, that's when I know I need to do something. Because, you know, like when you're not in a, you know, physical forward lifestyle, it feels burdensome to try to get to there. Like you're just like, that's a lot of work and a lot of time, and you know, I'd be better off doing blah blah blah. It doesn't really matter. You have some excuse for why that's not important.
Damn right.
And I ended up buying about 3 or 4 pairs of size 36 jeans. And I was like, you know, eventually whatever. Actually, you know what? The crazy story was, mom, shout out. Hope you don't mind me telling the story. But so my mom had struggled with weight her whole life. And we got time still?
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
I mean, we are coming up on 3 hours. It's crazy how quickly it goes. Hey,
Joe Rogan, come see us.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We next, bro. We next, dog. Yeah, bro.
But yeah, so we could wrap it up here. But you know, yeah. So my mom had struggled with weight her whole life, and she, you know, go on a fad diet of some nature, whether it's like, you know, Weight Watchers or Jenny Craig or I don't know. She went on one of these milkshake ones where it's like drink a milkshake a day or whatever the fuck,
okay.
and you know, eat one meal and drink a milkshake and you'll be good, you know. But none of these things are ever like, hey, what you need in addition to this, because this might work, it might not, but no matter what you need in addition to this is a good lifestyle change and a healthy look on some level of physical activity.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, it doesn't, you know, I mean, there's so many roads to the end of this journey.
Oh, absolutely.
And the journey is forever ongoing once you get onto it. That's the crazy thing is like a lot of people, and I think my mom kind of fell into that category where it was like, okay, I've hit like whatever my goal weight is, I hit that. So now I'm good. But then you revert and then you go backwards. And sometimes that backwards momentum is worse than when you started the journey. So I remember it was one, I can't remember the correlation to when I made the actual choice to do this and when this thing happened, but I was out with her somewhere and she had like a little tiny Honda Civic.
Okay.
And this was like her kind of at one of her biggest points.
Okay.
And she had to ask me for a hand to get out of the car. And I was like, Mom, are you okay? And she's like, I'm fine. But it was like, it was a struggle watching her get out and da-da-da. And so somewhere in and around that time, she made a change that she was like, you know, I can't remember whether she said it to me before I decided or the exact timelines on these things, but she just basically ended up deciding I need to make a lifestyle change, not a diet, not a fad, not a, you know, I just need to change my life for the better. And bro, I'll tell you the one downfall of her lifestyle change, and I bust her up about it to this day, was I was like, her cooking. Because I was like, bro, my mom used to be a ninja. Why, she still is a ninja in the, you know, Mom, love you. You're a fire cook still. But she used to be like a proper ninja in the
Word.
kitchen, but an unhealthy ninja.
And that's
Like
why-
like X amount of butter, X amount of sugar, X amount of whatever tastes good.
Yeah.
That's what we're eating. And big Christmas dinners with all of these desserts and these like when Christmas time came around in our house, I was just like, you go to the deep freeze and there's Nanaimo bars and there's lemon cake, like whatever. I don't know.
Everything,
Yeah. Oh, dude, there's these what were they, like walnut walnut tarts, like, but they were like butternut tarts but like with walnuts in them, and
Oh,
bro, these things were like
God.
mental epic. I could literally sit there and polish like a proper tray of these things because I was just like, they're so good, bro.
Fuck yeah.
And but yeah, so when she decided to make this lifestyle change, it was really a lot to do with diet as well as physical activity. So for me, I somewhere in and around this same time, I started to make a lifestyle change as well. And it was the one biggest thing that I cut out of my diet that was like epic was white bread.
Oh,
White bread. Because
interesting.
if for all y'all that don't know, white bread is full of sugar. Full of sugar. And when you get a high from eating white bread, you get high. Like, it is not like it, and yes, you're not like hallucinating and seeing pink elephants, but you get a high from eating white bread. That is like, when people say I'm hangry, that is because you have some kind of sugar-based addiction.
Oh yeah.
And then the minute you have your sandwich, you're not really thinking about the fact that, oh, my sandwich had a whole bunch of white bread on it that has sugar in it, and now I'm happy, and that is why.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why.
Oh, it's 100%. And even just to add on to that, that's why people are like, how could you only eat one meal a day and not get hungry? It's because my blood glucose levels are optimal. It's like,
Right.
it's when you're especially carbohydrates, but it's especially white bread. It's gonna spike your insulin. You're gonna get actually you're gonna spike up. You're gonna crash. You're gonna get more hungry. When you don't eat, when I wake up in the morning, especially if I've eaten very clean the night before, which is mostly fruit and meat is what I tend to eat.
Right.
And so it's like when I wake up in the morning, I'm not hungry. I don't need anything to eat.
Yeah.
I don't need anything to eat until freaking 8 o'clock at night,
Yeah,
and it's because my blood sugar levels are fucking nice and optimal. They're never spiking. They're never climbing.
Yeah.
They're never dropping. I'm fucking high energy all day and I don't need nothing,
Yeah.
But that's interesting. White bread is the switch. And so do you still not eat it?
Okay, so I'll get to that at the end of this
okay,
little part of the story. So I do white bread, cut white bread out,
Okay.
cut out most carbs.
Okay.
And I go very clean eating. And I had to kind of flirted with vegetarianism for like a little while, which I
interesting.
didn't stay onto at all. My daughter's mother is like a big vegan, and she
vegan.
She went from being, I'm trying to even remember if we've ever eaten meat together, but she went from being at least pescatarian, because we definitely had fish together. But I remember taking her out one time for some salmon, and she was like kind of sketch on it. And
Damn.
but then she went vegetarian, and then she went full on vegan.
Wow.
So she's a vegan now.
Oh, okay.
My daughter's not, but she is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I had flirted with some vegetarianism, and then basically kind of just landed on a highly pescatarian forward diet for a little while.
Okay.
And was doing a lot of cardio.
Oh, okay.
Like a lot of cardio based exercising. I remember being in the gym, and I was running beside some guy, and I was heavy, and I didn't run all the time, and so I didn't really have good form, and I was like thump thump thump, and this guy was just like, bro, let me help you, and he kind of gave me some tips on how to like run a little bit better in terms of form, and that definitely helped. And then, but yeah, so whatever, I did a whole bunch of cardio, and at one point in time, I was really skinny. I got down to 140. 140, bro. 140.
So you were 260.
Yeah.
And then you went to 140.
Yeah.
That's a human.
Yeah.
That's a human
Oh,
you
bro,
lost.
I lost the whole person, bro. for sure.
Holy fuck. Okay.
And then built that 140 back to like what I am now. And even in the last like 2 years, and I know this because my clothes from 2 years ago, unless I bought it oversized for some reason, don't fit me now.
Oh, word.
So, but you know, and so I say till now that I've been just building back with muscle, but I try to keep it like lean muscle. I've never wanted to be big and bulky, but I do want to be strong and have a good physique.
Word.
So, to relate that all back to why I started talking about my diet and all that. Oh, and by the way, I also, other than cutting out white bread and carbs and shit, I went down to 1 meal a day as well.
Oh, no
Intermittent
way.
fasting. Oh, I still to this day.
Oh, shit.
And actually, I'll touch on your other point before I conclude. But so now, 1 meal a day, Monday to Saturday.
Oh, okay.
1 meal a day, Monday to Saturday, and then on Sunday, I eat. And really, I only usually eat 2.
Yeah. Word.
But Sunday is like my day to like. I don't work out on Sundays,
Sick.
and I eat whatever I feel like.
Oh, fuck yeah. Bro.
And because I've done all of this, I large in part don't feel like I want a bunch of terrible food. I just want to feel a slight bit more gluttonous on a Sunday.
Course,
like I'm just like, you know what? I can eat twice, or I'm gonna have
eat twice.
I'm gonna have carbs in meal 1 and carbs in meal 2, or you know, whatever. I don't know.
And so what's like a this is always an interesting thing. What's a guilty pleasure of yours?
I don't know. Like I'm trying to think about my worst thing that I enjoy. Like I mean, I guess pizza maybe.
Oh, pizza's a good one.
Yeah,
Pizza
like
is a good one. That is just not good for you.
Yeah, like some proper Detroit style, like the deeper dish with the cheese on the crust up the side, like, bro. Yeah. You can hit me with some of that.
Basically a lasagna.
Yeah,
you know?
bro. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, but no, large in part, like, you know, I'll have a massive brunch on a Sunday.
Cool.
Like potatoes. I'm having bread. Mostly I'd try to get sourdough, but whatever the place
I started
has.
making homemade sourdough, bro.
I'll have to.
Bro,
I'll have to
one
get some
day
of
I'll
that.
make you one, bro. One
Bless
day.
that. And then like 3 eggs, the hash browns, and a side steak. So it's like a big like farmer breakfast kind of vibe.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Shout out local, because that's my favorite place to get them from.
Oh, word.
Yeah. So, you know, you've seen me at every local in the city eating some breakfast at one point in time.
That's what's up, bro. Okay, crazy.
But yeah, so then, you know, back to what I was saying is like that's why I don't really like worry about missing my goals too much, because I don't know. I just think, like, you know, you have this idea of a goal and you shoot towards it, but you don't have to land on that goal.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you know, that cliche saying about if you shoot for the something, you
shoot for the
moon, you land among the stars. Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm happy landing among the stars all day long because the journey is a beautiful part of everything. Absolutely. And readjusting your desires, and really more than anything, not getting down on your progress.
Yes.
Because whatever it is, wherever you're going, like, I don't need to be the best at anything I do. Like, I don't need to be the best in the world at anything. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But I want to be good at anything I care about.
Oh, that's a cool mindset to have. You want to perform, but you want to perform for you.
Yeah, and I just want to have like realistic expectations. And so for me, it's always been about like, you know, like incremental, like the patience in the practice is like everything. Like, so it's just, you know, you move a little bit, but be patient with yourself, but just keep moving. Yes. And whatever that might be. And you don't always have to arrive everywhere on time. Yes. You could arrive late and still be there.
Oh, that reminds me of that. I can't remember what the quote is exactly, but it's the whole idea is rigid flexibility. It's like a palm or like a palm tree. A palm tree stands up is a tree. It's rooted in the ground, But why palm trees can grow so long and why they don't break as often is because they bend with the wind.
Right.
And so it's like the tree is always the tree and it's not going anywhere. But it can survive the fucking hurricane.
Right.
It can survive the storm because of its flexibility in how rigid, you know. So it's just that concept of rigid flexibility.
I like that.
It's
I
a
like
cool
that.
one,
Yeah,
bro.
that's some bars right there.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure,
I like
for
that.
sure, dog. So that's cool. That's a cool mindset that you have in your approach, you know, and with fucking PPM, better art and healthier people. It's like, you know, that's the whole idea of what this podcast is for. You know, it's just about, there's no actual goal in mind
Right.
with this. It's just I committed myself to doing it for 1 year. You know, I was like, okay, I'm doing a podcast. If I'm gonna start it, I'm gonna commit myself to releasing at least fucking 52 episodes. You know,
Right.
It's like if I'm not fucking 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 episodes is nothing. You know, it's like and it's only now that I'm starting to get, I feel like, into the flow of the podcast game. You know,
Yeah.
and now that I'm whatever.
Hey, bro, I tuned in on episode 1
Hey!
and I was hooked.
My G, fuck
Like
yeah.
I was just like, you know what? Like I was just like, this just, I don't know. It feels organically good. Like,
Thank you, my bro.
yeah, no, because I mean, you and I, anytime we've linked up, we've always had very good conversations.
It's true. It's true.
And I feel like our time, even much like current podcast scenario, it always like feels like it's like cut short.
Yeah.
Like we just have good convo.
We do. Like, look at that, bro. Fucking 3 hours, bro.
Hey.
And that's what it is.
Hey.
And I hope you know too, bro. Anytime you want to come back on, bro.
We'll do this again.
oh,
We'll do this again. There's lots more to talk about.
Bro, and that's what I even feel like. I feel like we touched on some cool things. There were so many there. I'm really glad we dove into your like kind of evolution, even if it was kind of broad, you know, your evolution through music and kind of what got you to here, because I was interested in it, you know.
Right.
That was the one thing out of this conversation. I was like, I really want to know where this came from and how you got there. So I'm glad we got to have that talk and that journey, because I wanted to know.
And I swear to God, bro, if we had more time or the whatever, that was our strict focus. There's so many more interesting little things that have happened along the way. Like I'll be honest, like, you know, I'm not like the type of pat myself on the back dude too much, but I love the things that have happened to get me to today or tomorrow or yesterday. You know, like I don't know, it just feels cool. Like it feels cool, and
absolutely.
I can say that with, you know, like some level of pride. Like it feels cool.
And it should. You're doing, and this is why I like having a podcast, is I get to selfishly have a lot of cool conversations with cool people doing cool things, you know?
Yeah. And that was my biggest thing about like why I was like, oh, this would be fun to come on, because I'm like, you're a cool guy that has done cool shit that is fucking interesting. And, you know, like it'd be different if I was trying to have this same conversation with some boring person. You know what I mean? It's not, that's not it.
And there's been some people that, I'm not going to say their names, but there's been some people that there's been a lot of people that have reached out that have wondered to be on the podcast. And I got a lot of really cool people and a lot of cool conversations coming out, but there's just some people that hit me up. It's like, bro, I just don't see where this conversation could go, you know? It's like, bro, like,
yeah.
You know, it's like this a conversation in itself is a performance too, you know. There's give and take, understanding the vibe, and there's chemistry, and it's just not everybody matches, you know.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
I'm just like, man, I don't want to try to sit here for 2 hours with someone I can barely text with, you know.
Right.
Oh shit. But I feel like there's so much. You'll have to come on again, bro. You're always doing such crazy shit. I feel like there's so much to even. I don't want to dive into something more again, because I feel like we'll eventually just get cut off because of time. But one thing I like to, I know you've shared actually quite a bit, but one thing I like to kind of end with is there anything you want to tell to somebody listening?
Nah, just the simple normal shit. I mean, you know, I could try to leave you with a little gem, a little pearl, but I think we've dropped a few of those in this pod.
And that's it
And
too, bro.
and for me, I'm more the type of person that likes to like let my action show, and I don't like to talk too much. I mean, for most people, this will be the most they've ever heard me talk.
Oh,
Like
that's
I don't
crazy.
go onto my IG and like, oh, you know,
Of
and
course.
I don't really like, I'll text the message of whatever I'm trying to do
Yeah.
rather than talk about it.
Word.
But
What
that's
a
just,
treat. What
yeah,
a
yeah,
treat,
yeah.
bro. What
So,
a treat. I know I've been blessed to have lots of long conversations with you.
yeah.
And so that's cool.
But I guess, you know, what I will say that I would like to leave everyone with is Amaboza EP out now. Go support that shit.
It's
Keys
great.
to the City Entertainment,
Oof.
Keys to the City Recordings.
Oof.
Yeah, those are both, that's the movement. So tune in, check IG, check Snap, check TikTok, check wherever. Pick up the music wherever good music is sold. And you know, enjoy your life.
Yeah, beautiful, dog. And I'll make sure I'll get whatever links that you want. I'll get you to send them to me, and I'll put them in all the descriptions of all the
Sure. Yeah,
all the videos, just to make it easier for people. I know there's obviously a lot of people that are into music that listen to this, so I would say, man, you got to check it out. It's cool. The movement is cool. The vibes are dope. Nick is super. If you've made it to the end of the conversation and you don't think this motherfucker is dope, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe stop listening to the podcast, bro. Nick's super dope. He's doing so many things.
Appreciate you, bro.
And bro, honestly, I'm so grateful that you came through. I'm so grateful for the conversation. Thank you for being here, bro.
Likewise, my bro. Likewise, my bro.
Hey.
And hey, also equally as cool, he's cooler than me.
Nah.
Nah, JusJrdn is a gem and a half. So, yo, go check out Olympus and all the other dope shit that this guy's doing. PPM.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Thank you much,
My
G.
guy. Appreciate
Brother,
you, bro.
thank you so much for being here.
Yes, sir.
More love, more success. This has been A Moment with Jay.
I hope you know, with every darker night, there's a brighter day. Through the chaos, we'll be okay. Sending nothing but positive vibes your way. Love for always. Jay.